we're back. If you've been injured in an accident that's not your fault and you don't have an attorney, listen up. We have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions and tell you what your case is potentially worth. Pick up the phone, call now.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. Attention! If you or a loved one were implanted with a barred power port device and later experienced serious complications, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. The barred power port is a medical device implanted under the skin to deliver medication and other fluids intravenously. Lawsuits have been filed which allege these devices have inherent design and manufacturing flaws, making them prone to migration and breakage. Injuries associated with barred power port devices include infection, bleeding, organ perforation, blood clots, and even death. If you or a loved one were implanted with a barred power port and later experienced serious complications, you may be owed significant compensation from the manufacturer. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 800-817-2059.
I'm Rhonda Swan, and welcome to the Wall Street Minute. Today we're walking down Wall Street with Ben Reinberg, a renowned commercial real estate leader and the CEO of Alliance Consolidated Group of Companies.
Time is your greatest asset. And if you're going to leave money in the bank or a financial institution, you are going to fall behind. And so the biggest lie about money is just saving and hoarding cash instead of getting your money working. It's why people invest with us, because we get your money working in hard assets, providing tax benefits, and giving you the ability to build wealth.
Ben creates stable, recession-resistant investments with consistent returns with a historical IRR of 28%.
If you want to learn to invest in commercial real estate, you can go to my company, AllianceCGC.com, or you can go to BenReinberg.com. Both websites will allow you to invest, build wealth, and learn how you can grow your hard asset empire just like I have.
Thank you for watching the Wall Street Minute.
Welcome back, folks. So, Krisha, on Friday, you were very concerned about
I was.
the impending snowstorm at the time.
Yes.
So the reality happened. So what happened over the weekend?
Well, John, as you mentioned, I was a little bit of a snowflake. I was worried about the storm. It looks like here we're taking a live look of New York City and Times Square. It looks like the streets are being cleaned to some extent, although I had a bit of a hard time getting to work this morning. What I experienced early in the wee hours was that the streets, they didn't have enough salt. So I fared okay, I'm here, but I know a lot of Americans did not. Over 1 million people without power and power outages across 7 different states. So
yeah, and as you can see, there were some people there creating a snow fight.
Yes.
Looks like, I don't know exactly where that is, but people having fun.
They're having
somewhere
fun. Mm-hmm.
In Brooklyn, I believe.
Right.
Having fun. Videotaping. I hope they know each other. It's kind of hard throwing snowballs at people you don't know.
Right.
That could cause a fight anywhere, but especially in New York City. But the thing is that I know the children, they had so much fun.
Yes, they did.
You know, I don't think the parents had as much fun being out with the children during the snowstorm. But, you know, it was an experience.
It was. And here in New York, schools may be closed, but online learning is going. So sorry, kids, no snow day for you.
Yeah, unfortunately. But hopefully, you know, the children have all the right equipment and access to the web.
It takes time to ask questions and understand. Focus Today does just that. We give you an hour so you can understand better. Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Well, good morning to you and happy Monday. Welcome to Mornings on the Dove. This is where Jerry gets his kicks.
Yeah.
The Pacific Northwest is high and dry.
Oh boy.
We might. see something tomorrow.
Oh, you are an optimist, aren't you?
Well, it does say 65%, but it doesn't say what.
Okay. Okay. All right.
We'll see what that is.
Oh, man.
Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Back at it after interesting weekends. Go Seahawks, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
Super Bowl, so
How about that?
what game yesterday?
Yes. In fact, both playoff games were very good, and it gives us a rematch. A rematch of 11 years ago when the Patriots met the Seahawks. Seahawks had it in the bag. Remember, they were on like the 1 or the half-yard line, and everybody thought Marshawn Lynch up the middle. And no, they threw a pass, got intercepted, and lost the game. But here we go. They get to do it again.
Yeah. Yesterday had all the excitement you want in the game.
Oh, man.
It was a good game. So anyway, congratulations. You say at one time the decibel was like 124?
Oh, that, you know what? We went to, Jonathan and I went to a game in that stadium last year when the New York Giants visited.
Yeah.
And it's truly, I mean, Autzen Stadium is loud, but you go into that stadium, oh my gosh, to see the Seahawks, get ready, because you're going to enter decibel levels that you have rarely entered.
And it curves like this.
Yes,
it locks it in.
It does.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty loud. All right. Anyway, good morning to you. A lot going on in the news this morning after an amazing weekend in Minneapolis, and so we'll talk a little bit about that. I can only say wait till all the reports come out.
Yeah.
All right. So anyway, good morning to you. What do you got?
Kisses. Honey.
Okay. What's that?
Good morning. It's National Spouses Day. This day's for you.
Oh.
Yes. Reminding us to take time for our mate. Being thankful for the fulfillment and security of a long-term relationship to boost the morale and well-being provided by spouses. There are many reasons to celebrate, and I have a huge one. Good morning, Pam. Thank you. National Bubble Wrap Day. Yeah.
I'm going to charge you for that. That was a commercial.
I know, it really kind of was, wasn't it? Hey,
cough it up, buddy.
Yeah, I'm getting points, and it's not even Valentine's Day yet. All right, it's National Bubble Wrap Day. Two guys, back in 1956, two guys glued two shower curtains together, and there were all these natural bubbles in it. So they thought, oh man, that'd make a great wall covering, so we should market this as wallpaper. Wow. Nobody wanted it. And so then they kind of refined it, and they made it refrigerator insulation.
Wow.
And that, did okay. And then they refined it even more, and it became bubble wrap. By 1961, the product evolved into the bubble wrap that we know today. And guess what? The first huge client they had, it protected IBM's 1401 computer when they started shipping it, and bubble wrap was on the map.
There you go.
There we go. All right. National Peanut Brittle Day. You like peanut brittle?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like to snap. Well, back to bubble wrap.
Yeah.
You're right. I love to snap that stuff. I had an app on my phone, but I got a little too many apps. I only hit those bubble wrap things on Bubble Wrap Day.
Okay.
And so anyway, it's Peanut Brittle Day. What makes peanut brittle brittle?
Well, it's hard.
Yeah, but why?
Sugar?
Yes, the sugar for peanut brittle is cooked at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, called the hard crack stage. This makes the hard candy with a snap to it, stretching the sugar once it cools to a malleable temperature. I love that. I love malleable temperature. Oh, I love that.
Okay, brought to you by the American Dental Association.
Amen, brother. You got that right.
Okay.
And then wash it down with green juice.
Green juice.
It is National Green Juice Day. Serves a vibrant reminder to stick to the healthy resolutions by fueling your bodies with concentrated power of leafy greens. Cold pressed is best. You use a masticating juicer if you're making your green juice at home. This kind of juicer helps preserve more enzymes than high-speed centrifugal juicers. And wash it all first. Wash your greens in cold water first, because winter months are hard on vegetables, especially if they have to travel far to get to the grocery store. A quick soak refreshes them, kind of like us. And drink it fresh. Drink your green juice within 15 to 20 minutes before the light and air start breaking down those precious nutrients immediately. So tip it up, have green juice, and then make sure you rinse your mouth out, because we hate green smiles.
Well, I have to tell you, it is pretty good, okay?
Yeah.
But the reason I don't drink it,
Why?
it looked too much like split pea soup. And I don't like
I
split
know
pea.
you have this aversion. You hate split pea soup so much you throw others away.
Yeah.
I
If it's
love
the
it.
only can left on the shelf, it'll still be sitting there.
Oh, that's too bad. Oh, well, enjoy.
All right. All right. Good morning to you. Well, here's a guy that drank green this morning. Right here.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With continued high pressure today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and 47 in McMinnville with a slight chance of showers. Moving down the Willamette Valley with widespread morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with daytime high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 53 in Eugene with a calm wind. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 40s for Prineville, partly sunny in mid-40s in Bend, and gradual clearing in near 44 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, increasing clouds in mid-30s. Partly sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s from Coos Bay through Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California, with a light south wind. In southern Oregon, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Grants Pass, decreasing clouds in Medford, and partly sunny in Ashland with highs near 52. In the Klamath Basin, partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Into northern California, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Wairika, mostly sunny and near 58 in Redding and near 57 in Chico. Patchy fog this morning in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 59. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then mostly sunny with highs near 60 in Santa Rosa and 59 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light and variable wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 66. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, there we go, Southern Oregon. And pretty nice out there, actually. You know, it's a little chilly this morning. You know, it's 31, but hey, you know, it's a warm 31.
Yes.
It's going to warm up to freezing here in about a minute.
That's very good.
There you
go. All right. Well, it's Monday morning. The week is in front of us. Time for some great encouragement. We have it this morning with Ann Graham-Lotz.
I've much more to say to you, more than you can now bear. But when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all truth. He will not speak on his own. He will speak only what he hears, and he will tell you what is yet to come. He will bring glory to me by taking from what is mine and making it known to you. All that belongs to the Father is mine. That's why I've said, the Spirit will take from what is mine and make it known to you. And I'm going to tuck in verse 16. It's so interesting. In a little while, you'll see me no more, and then after a little while, you will see me. And I'm just going to think about verse 16 for a moment, because remember after the resurrection when he appeared to them in the upstairs room, then he disappeared. And he appeared to them on the Emmaus Road, and he disappeared. And he appeared to them on the shore of Galilee, and he disappeared. And what was he doing? All this coming and going. And I think Jesus was teaching them about the Holy Spirit, that whether they could see him or not, he was still there. So like, remember when he broke bread with the disciples on the way to Emmaus, and when he broke the bread, their eyes were open, they realized he was there, and then he disappeared. How do you know he wasn't still there? They just couldn't see him. Or in the upstairs room, when he came and made himself visible, and then he disappeared, but maybe he was still there. So he's teaching them, whether you could see him or not, in the person of the Holy Spirit, he would be present in their lives.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. What an interesting twist. Mm-hmm. Ann Graham-Lotz. Well, bottom line is Holy Spirit's with you all the time.
Amen.
All right, good morning to you. Let's take a look at some of the top stories. And look, Minneapolis is the big story. And so yesterday, on my Sunday, trying to stay with good things in my heart.
Yes. Yes.
And preparing for the show.
Okay.
I realize that this story and this shooting now in Minneapolis over the weekend is impossible to figure out at the moment.
Right.
No matter what position that I would perceive as being the interpretation would be immediately met with opposition.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I just want to read you, give you 3 stories that highlight the shooting in Minneapolis over the weekend.
Okay.
And the only thing I can say to you, it would be easy for me to comment, but I just don't need the pushback. I just don't need it. Okay, so here's the deal. My only instruction to our viewers and listeners, wait. Wait. Because there's a lot of factors moving around on this, and more will come out. But there are some things that kind of highlighted the story. It was a tragic shooting of a ER nurse that looks like this person had been radicalized. Goes to the scene, okay, does everything the policeman or the officers told him not to do. He did it anyway, and he's carrying a 9mm gun.
Yeah, with more than one clip.
What in the world do you do with this? That's all my comment. In the meantime, former President Barack Obama is urging protesters, urging Americans to support and draw inspiration from the aggression being demonstrated in Minneapolis. Every American should support and draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protest in Minneapolis. That's the former president.
Wow.
Now, it would be easy for me to comment on that, but it's anything but peaceful.
Right, and could we use the word insurrection in any kind of...
It's all over the news, that word.
Yes.
Now there's an uncovering over the weekend of cryptid signal messages of an organized mobilization of these demonstrators, even at the scene of this shooting, where they're now tying the dots that the mobilization of these outbursts are clearly orchestrated, and they're going after Border Patrol agents. That's the only thing they have targeted are the ICE agents. And it's very possible that this young man that was killed over the weekend is now part of their plan to turn him into a martyr, kind of like a George Floyd thing, and raise the actions, everything. So that is now breaking. Now, I want to say to you folks, listen to this. Give this story some time. They're connecting the dots. They have found cryptid messages on social media of these groups organized and being paid.
Right, yeah,
Okay, give this some time. It will develop. Okay. In the meantime, the president is obviously calling for the end of the obstruction and the end of sanctuary cities. By the way, these happen in sanctuary cities.
Oh, exactly.
Okay. With the sole purpose of protecting the bad people and letting the good people go. This is out of control. It's bad. And I don't think anybody in high-ups will listen to what I'm about to say, but it's my recommendation. I think Attorney General Bondi and President Trump needs to meet with Governor Walz and the Attorney General of Minnesota and work this thing out.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If those four people don't sit down and work this out and draw the lines of what is and is not going to be done, what has fallen through the cracks with this whole demonstration?
The rule of law. I don't know.
Well, yes, but the biggest fraud case in the history of the United States has fallen through the cracks.
And not only that, Perry, but I see ex-President Bill Clinton now wading in. Because he's using this as a smokescreen as well. Because he's in a little trouble right now.
So they have created the perfect smokescreen to get the big one off. Now, the only thing I can say about that, it spilled over into California over the weekend. And now Governor Newsom is faced with other big companies leaving the state, big names leaving the state, and they now have starting to uncover the fraud in the state. By the way, we can talk about him later, but California is going to be the next big fraud thing. But keep in mind, folks, the largest misuse of federal funds given to a state in the history of the United States is no longer headlines. It's been replaced with this organized, paid, so-called, according to President Obama, peaceful demonstration. Where ICE agents are now the enemies of the citizens.
Right, and in these peaceful demonstrations, we have protesters showing up armed. Yeah, that's really peaceful. Now, do you think part of the problem, Perry, is the fact that you have leaders like the leader of Minnesota, Governor Walz, saying don't call these ICE agents law enforcement officers because they're not? So now you are trying to dismantle where they are as far as law enforcement in this country. Does that embolden protesters when you say these aren't law enforcement officers? You can basically have license to do what you want.
Well, look, this thing is so loaded with problems, and that kind of rhetoric creates insurrection.
Yes. Yeah.
And he needs to be held accountable for it.
Yes.
Of course, they're law enforcement agents.
Yeah, well, of course they are.
Okay, so,
and Tom Homan, the head of ICE, during the Obama administration, gets a special award for the work that he was doing for the Obama administration when they deported over 3 million people.
Yeah,
it's like
he's enemy number
the
one.
absurdity, right?
All right. So one of the things coming out of this, and folks, get ready because it's only Monday.
What?
So Chuck Schumer, Senator Schumer, has jumped on this and now is going to pull back their support of the funding of the Department of Homeland Security.
Right. So now we have...
And now we're going into a budget shutdown.
Right. Now they have another element they want negotiated to keep the government open.
Okay. So the Democrats are going to shut the government down.
Right.
Get ready for it.
Again.
Get ready for it.
Yep.
All right. Hey, happy Monday to you.
Yeah.
All right. So what do we have to eat today?
We have
peanut brittle.
We have peanut brittle and we have green juice. Yeah, I know.
Let me see.
I know.
Peanut butter and green juice.
You know what makes green juice really good? Just a spoonful of sugar.
Well, I look. I've had it with a lot of weird things in there.
Yeah. Okay.
I think even bark within the might even had some dirt in it. But if you put an apple in it, it'll sweeten it up.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, anyway, give me the peanut brittle. We'll be right back.
I've got joy, 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 and a peace that I won't depart, since he set me free from my foolish pride. I've got joy, joy, joy.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Until now, the CDC recommended more than 70 shots throughout childhood.
Recently, many parents have asked for more flexibility.
It doesn't take anybody's vaccine away from them. Every vaccine will be insured. They will be paid for.
While some doctors are pushing back.
This administration has decided that they think they know better.
What's the case for the new vaccine schedule?
Tuesday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? When you want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life, call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford today.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
19 minutes past the hour. Happy Monday to you. Back at it. A lot going on. We're staying in the cabin because the weather's nice.
That's right. It's good in here.
Good in here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, remember Dutch Bros?
Oh, yeah.
Grants Pass-based company.
Yeah.
Really a great company. Their history is remarkable. You know, they moved to Phoenix.
Right.
And there was quite an article with the governor trying to create a more friendly business atmosphere.
Yeah.
Which is a subterfuge. But anyway,
yeah.
Anyway, the article goes on and said, hey, Oregonians, wake up. If we lose Dutch Bros, who's next?
Right.
And that was kind of like one of the ones that opened up the door and all that. Well, anyway, I don't want to get on all that, but Dutch Bros now bought out Clutch Coffee Bar with 20 locations in the Carolinas.
Oh. Oh.
So Dutch Bros bought out Coffee Clutch Bar, operating 20 locations, giving Dutch Bros now the immediate foothold there in the Carolinas. And with this acquisition, Dutch Bros now has 1,000 locations nationwide.
Oh,
started
my
out at
gosh.
Grants Pass.
Whoa.
So there you go.
And the governor realized they left, yeah?
I don't know if the governor.
Huh?
I don't know.
My goodness.
People have recognized this.
Yes, yeah.
All right, so there's so much for that. All right. The big weather across the weekend. I mean, they say that, 40%? No, let me see. 180 million people, almost half of the U.S. population was impacted by this storm.
Yeah.
Peggy and I have never watched the Weather Channel like we have over the weekend.
Oh, wow. Oh, really?
And then they have this other channel where these guys are tracking it and they're talking and they have all. Have you ever seen that one?
Yeah.
Oh, it's pretty interesting. And they really get good data. And so you're going to go. So anyway, this thing was really nasty. It's dumped a lot of snow, 2 and 3 feet of snow in some areas, tens of inches in some places. You know, it just really was bad from really the Rocky Mountains all the way through New England.
Yeah.
And now we're in the stage where it's kind of moving on, and what's behind is a lot of cold air.
Mm-hmm.
It's really miserable. So 10,800 flights were canceled.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Did you hear that? 10,800 flights were canceled.
Wow.
So I don't know how you regain on this and how you get things back at it, but can you imagine being trapped? And then the hundreds of thousands of people that were without power for, hours and hours and hours.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of like a little bit of a wake-up call to everybody. Are you prepared for emergencies?
Oh, my gosh, yeah. Yes.
Are you really prepared for emergencies?
Right.
Do you have alternative heat?
Right, yes.
Things like that. So, in the meantime, we have a mild pattern continues in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
In fact, the shallow cold air and potential freezing conditions developed today from the Umpqua Basin down into the lower part of the Rogue Valley are expected, and especially near Grants Pass. And then, overall, a mild, dry pattern will persist into the early part of this week. But one forecast says maybe 65% chance of rain tomorrow. I have no idea how that's going to turn out.
Oh, my gosh, really?
We need this high pressure broken up. This is serious. No skiing.
Right.
And what rain we got and filled up the reservoirs, that's starting to take a hold now and not being good.
Well, there's a whole bunch of things that are going to be affected if we don't get some storms rolling through here.
Yeah. So we need some, Lord, stir up the high pressure and let some low pressure in.
Okay.
All right, this next story is kind of interesting.
What?
I mean, poor Prince William.
Oh, yeah.
He has to give up one of his hobbies.
Yes.
And one of his hobbies? He likes riding his electric scooter around.
That's what I saw, yeah.
Yeah, and so he has this electric scooter he scoots around in.
Right.
And since they have now moved to what they call the Windsor Great Parks, which is a part there in the UK where one of the castles is, they have a they have a no electric bike or scooter policy.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah.
So if the citizens can't do it, he can't do it.
Right. Oh.
So I understand he falls in line pretty happy about this.
Okay.
So he's probably looking for another hobby. You know what's interesting about this? See, there he is scooting around on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There he is.
So he's inside his own compound.
Right. Well, look at a couple comments here. He's on a stand-up scooter.
Yeah.
He's going pretty good clip.
Yeah.
No helmet.
Well, he's inside his own place.
Well, your head still cracks when it hits the ground.
I know. Anyway, he's got to give it up.
Okay.
You know, the other thing he had to give up, and he really didn't want to do it?
What?
He's a helicopter pilot.
Oh, that's right.
He really wanted to keep flying.
Yes.
He can't put his fingers on the controls anymore.
Oh, really?
Nope.
Oh.
He has to sit in the back.
Really?
Sometimes he sits up front, but most of the when they're shuttling him around a little bit.
Well, okay. I want to ask: can he keep his license current or anything like that, or is he restricted now?
I don't know how it is over here. The FAA, you have to do what they call BFRs, biannual flight reviews.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know what it's like over there, but the good thing about it, if anything happens, he could probably take it over. But,
well, true. Yeah.
But he flew in the military. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
But now he can't even ride his little electric scooter.
That's got to be a little.
So what's he going to
do? Walk. I don't.
Does he get a horse?
Well, I don't know. Do they allow horses in that park?
I don't know.
Do you have a shovel?
But it's not as if he can't walk around the compound a little bit.
Yeah. Well, that's true.
Poor guy.
Couldn't he at least ride around in the courtyard there? That was a big courtyard he was riding in.
So let me ask you this. What about a bicycle, electric bicycle?
Well, apparently not. They say no electric motorized vehicles in the park. So
that's a bad day at the office.
Hey, so what do you think about electric bikes? Let's back up here.
Well, this is it's interesting. I'm seeing more. Boy, they're expensive.
Oh gosh, yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm seeing more and more people ride these things in the bike lanes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And I'm going, is this really a bike?
And they're not pedaling. Check this out. I have close family members who are serious mountain bike riders. And one of them where mountain biking originated in the hills of Marin County. And they ride up to the top of these hills, and it's an effort to get up there. And then when they get up to the top of the hills, it's kind of like skiing. You have all that fun going down. And they're getting angry now. You know why? Because they're working like crazy to get to the top of these hills so they can coast down. And here's these guys who have ridden up on their electric bikes. They haven't pedaled at all. And now they're at the top and they say, see ya, buddy. Yeah. And they take off down too.
Yeah, it's, John Middendorf rides his mountain bike on his shoulder and head. He does a good job with it.
Yeah, he did that.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Oh, it's dangerous stuff.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
You got to be careful.
All right. Well, we'll keep you tracked on the weather, but it's moving out there.
Yeah, and we do have a chance tomorrow.
Okay.
It's between 60-65%.
Oh, Lord, let it break up.
Oh, man. Okay. I just wish something was behind it. Unfortunately, it looks like it's going to clear. Well, how about Eric Swalwell? He is calling for ICE officers to be punished.
Oh, gosh.
Yes, and Liz Peek reacts to this clip of him doing that, especially as questions swirl over Swalwell's California residency and political ambitions, and he did this on Fox Business's Mornings with Maria.
They're going to lose their immunity. They're not going to be able to drive. I will take your driver's license. Good luck walking to work. Also, I will direct law enforcement to use every power to prosecute them for battery, false imprisonment, and murder. There's only one side of the ball to be on behalf of Californians when it comes to ICE, and it's offense.
Look, he's a congressman, so he lives in D.C. But look, is this not a lunatic comment from Eric Swalwell? Yeah. Eric Swalwell of Fang Fang fame, let's not forget. The idea that he's not going to give ICE agents driver's license, for one thing, I assume that's illegal. He's penalizing law enforcement agents doing their job because he doesn't like them and because politically that scores points for him. I thought this was really a horrific comment from him. How stupid can you get?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Liz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, look, the left is scoring points with all this anger and frustration because the media is throwing gas on the fire.
Yeah.
The only thing, as I said earlier, I just don't need the pushback. Just do yourself a favor. Give this time for all the facts to come out. Because all this is under investigation, but at the end of the day, it's ICE and President Trump. They're the bad guys.
Yep.
And so just give us some time. All right, we're going to take a peanut brittle break. I'm starting to warm up the peanut butter.
Okay. It's our morning sugar fix. Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
Season is Shine, a new inspiring program for women. Through meaningful and relatable conversations, we'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine.
Premieres Monday, January 26 at 4 p.m. on theDove TV.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond. But that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Leiser with Leiser Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
Good morning to you. Well, I don't know. The other story over the weekend was what's happening in Iran. And you've got to ask yourself, how long is the world going to stand by and tolerate this? Where is the UN? It's just absolutely amazing. But now the crackdown in Iran is it's genocide on steroids. 36,000 people murdered in the last 2 days. 36,000 people murdered in 2 days by a government regime. When is that going to sink in? Right. They're going into the hospitals, killing people in the hospital bed, and taking people that are still alive and putting in body bags and moving them out of the hospital. I mean, this is just evil on steroids.
And the UN is doing what?
What? Nothing. And so I do know that we have mobilized quite a few military assets into that area. I don't know what's on tap, what's going on. We do know that the regime has gone underground in anticipation of something. But folks, I just don't understand. We have devalued human life so bad that we accept this as normal.
Yes.
Anyway, here's CBN Newswatch giving us an update.
This is CBN Newswatch.
So if there were some sort of strike, how would Iran respond?
Well, they're warning. They have a lot of bluster. They're saying more than ever, their fingers on the trigger. Their army is prepared for a worst case scenario. And they say they hope any military buildup won't lead to a real confrontation. How they could respond: ballistic missiles, strikes, drones, UAVs. They could hit U.S. bases, U.S. assets in the Gulf. They could use their proxies like the Houthis or Hezbollah. They could use cyber attacks, or they could seek negotiations to survive, or a mix of all the above, Ephraim. But the capabilities for Iran seem much less than they were now before the war with Israel and the United States 12 days ago, with so much of their military and leadership affected by that war.
Is Israel ready for retaliation from Iran if there is a U.S. strike?
Well, they say they are, Ephraim. The IDF spokesman said they are ready offensively and defensively. They have layers of anti-missile systems, including the Iron Dome, David Sling, the Arrow. Hospitals are ready in case of any attacks. But I would say, Ephraim, right now there really is a sense of calm here in Israel. People have been through this 3 times already. They have bomb shelters. Most of the missiles have been intercepted in the past. There'll be a coalition of nations that will help shield Israel, we understand. But overall, it's just so important to be praying for the Iranian people, the peace of this region, and as always, the peace of Jerusalem.
All right, our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell, thank you for your insights. As always, we look forward to hearing from you in the days ahead this week. From coast to coast, nearly 200 million Americans felt the blast of a winter storm carrying heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Highways turned into ice rinks and airports are shut down. More than 800,000 people still without power, leaving many freezing in their homes. Dale Hurd has our coverage.
From New Mexico in the southwest all the way to New England, a dangerous mix of heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain affected more than half of Americans. At least 20 governors declared states of emergency. Airlines canceled more than 11,000 U.S. flights Sunday. That's the most for a single day since the start of the COVID pandemic.
And I've been stuck here, and I'll be stuck here for 2 more days.
A private plane carrying 8 people crashed after taking off from Bangor, Maine.
Aircraft upside down. We had a passenger aircraft upside down.
Still no word on injuries. More than 800,000 power outages have been reported across 11 states.
We're going to have to stay at a friend's house who's got heat. Okay. We don't have anything.
In Louisiana, 2 men died of hypothermia. In New York City, at least 6 deaths are linked to the storm. North of Dallas, a 14-inch water main burst, flooding streets and forcing officials to shut off water to homes. Dangerous driving conditions stretched for 2,000 miles. The National Guard was deployed in Arkansas to help move stranded vehicles out of the snow. In Mississippi, crews were clearing the streets, with officials urging people to stay off the roads. Boston and parts of New England braced for up to 2 feet of snow, while parts of New York and Pennsylvania got more than a foot, the most the areas have seen in years. Just north of Washington, D.C., White House correspondent Kelly Wright's neighborhood saw a foot of snow.
This is a ruler, and it's not the most scientific way of doing things, but I'm going to stick this 12-inch ruler into the ground to see how deep it goes to get a sense of the accumulation right here in my own neighborhood.
And in the nation's capital, folks tried to make the best of it with a giant snowball fight. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent shot and killed Alex Jeffrey Pretty in Minneapolis amid the immigration crackdown in that area. A Homeland Security spokesperson says he had a firearm with 2 magazines. However, some eyewitnesses say he did not have a gun in his hand when he approached federal agents. The shooting happened amid widespread protests in the Twin Cities since the shooting of Renee Good back on January 7th. A number of Republican leaders are calling for a deeper investigation.
All right, we'll keep an eye on all that. In the meantime, 14 inches to 2 feet of snow.
We're searching for an inch.
Yeah, oh gosh, we would give anything for a little snow, but it's pretty interesting. When you look at the National Weather Map, this thing that goes this way now, it's pretty much moving on. It's behind us cold air and a lot of ice.
Yeah.
It was actually raining ice. It was kind of an interesting thing. It went from snow to kind of like raining ice, you know.
Yeah.
Really bad conditions. Here, what do we have? Clear, high and dry, according to this guy that never, well, he drinks this funny green stuff.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With continued high pressure today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and 47 in McMinnville with a slight chance of showers. Moving down the Willamette Valley with widespread morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with daytime high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 53 in Eugene with a calm wind. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 40s for Prineville, partly sunny in mid-40s in Bend, and gradual clearing in near 44 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, increasing clouds in mid-30s. Partly sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s from Coos Bay through Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California with a light south wind. In southern Oregon, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Grants Pass, decreasing clouds in Medford, and partly sunny in Ashland with highs near 52. In the Klamath Basin, partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Into northern California, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Wairika, mostly sunny and near 58 in Redding and near 57 in Chico. Patchy fog this morning in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 59. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then mostly sunny with highs near 60 in Santa Rosa and 59 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light and variable wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 66. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
Here's a little bit of a view of our backyard this morning. Some high clouds over the top, which means we could get something tomorrow. We'll see. That's being forecasted at the moment. But remember, this is Oregon. Give it 15 minutes.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, she broke new ground when she was sworn in as Secretary of State on this day in history.
On January 26, 2005, history was made in Washington, D.C. as Condoleezza Rice was sworn in as Secretary of State, becoming the first black woman to hold the position and the highest-ranking African-American woman ever to serve in a presidential cabinet. A native of Birmingham, Alabama, Dr. Rice built an extraordinary resume. She earned advanced degrees in political science and international relations, then rose to become provost at Stanford University, where she gained national attention as an expert on Soviet affairs. That expertise led her to the White House, serving Presidents Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, including a pivotal role as National Security Advisor during President Bush's first term. At her swearing-in ceremony, President Bush praised her steady leadership and even joked, "We love her." I don't know if you're supposed to say that about the Secretary of State. Both Bush and Rice also honored her predecessor, Colin Powell, the first African-American Secretary of State, marking a powerful moment of progress and continuity in American history.
Geez, something.
Yeah, and she's really a graceful lady.
Yes.
I think did she go back to Stanford? I think.
Yeah, she went back to Stanford.
Yeah,
Yep.
she's back at Stanford
Yep.
University. Every once in a while you hear a comment from her, you know.
Yes.
But no, she's just a class act.
Yeah.
I think she's kind of mild in some of her views.
Yeah.
She has, different opinion about how things should be done. Well, that's America, But, class act all the way around.
Yeah.
All right, actor Jonathan Rooney gives part of his testimony on how God came through for him. So,
when I moved out to Los Angeles, it was essentially to take acting full-time. And so I now no longer had a support system for my income. The bills kept coming, and the breaks didn't. My checking account was overdraft like $100, and I had $20 in my pocket. The only thing I could think to do in that moment was to get on my knees and pray. And it was silence. There was nothing. So, you know what? I'm going to use your words from the Bible, the words that you said. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, burdened, and I shall give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So you know what, Jesus? Take some of mine. I'm out, man. I surrender. And I opened my mailbox, and in the mailbox were 4 checks that covered all my bills that were coming due. At that point, I realized that the moment I surrendered and let go of what I thought my life and my career should look like and give it to God, He's like, now you're ready for me to do what I'm going to do with you.
Wow.
And he ends up being Jesus on The Chosen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, we have a picture of him wearing a dove hat.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, pretty cool guy.
Yeah, very much.
He's wearing a dove hat on the set there at The Chosen.
Very cool.
Well, let me ask you a question. Rhetorical, don't answer it.
Okay.
Can you describe for you what total surrender really is? We'll take a break. We'll be right back.
My Savior loves, my Savior lives, my Savior's always there for me. My God, He was, my God, He is, my God is always gonna be my Savior.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
finding your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back. Happy Monday. Back at it for you this morning here in the Pacific Northwest. Kind of high and dry. A little bit of excitement going on as the Seahawks now will be going to the Super Bowl.
Oh,
Do you remember when the Oregon Ducks were going to the Rose Bowl? And this a couple of years ago. And for about 3 days, the traffic from Oregon down to Southern California on I-5.
Yes.
With all the green and gold.
Yes.
It was a constant stream. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we go again. They're going down to Levi Stadium.
Right. Except this time they're starting north of us, and they're coming down. So we're going to see
all
a bunch
the way
of
down.
them. Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of that silver and fluorescent green.
All right.
You know.
We got a 2-week break here.
2-week break.
Yep.
And then they start going. It'll be 2 weeks of partying, I think.
You know what? I think it's gonna this could be a good matchup, and it's going to be an interesting game, especially since they met each other 11 years ago, and that was a tough game. Obviously, a lot has changed since then. Both coaches are gone, and but here we go again.
Well, it's the East versus the West.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Doesn't get any more clearer than that.
Right. All right.
Well, this is kind of an interesting week here at the Dove. We are launching 2 new programs that we're producing inside our own studio here, and these have been in the making for quite some time, and I think you'll find them to be very beneficial. One of my desires, and I really feel part of the Dove's mission is to help other ministries. I mean, we've always felt part of that.
Yeah.
And there are so many ministries doing such great work out there that I literally can't cover them all on Focus today. It's gotten to the point where the vision we had was falling through the cracks, and I'm going, well, this isn't going to work, you know, because we are our tandem relationship with ministries is to give them the exposure, because they do things that only God can call them to do.
Right.
So I asked Ryan Robertson. Ryan is an interesting guy. He sits on a bunch of ministry boards throughout Southern Oregon. He's a talker.
Yep. Yep.
Ryan, if you're listening this morning, I'm just going to roast you a little bit.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
We love you, man.
Yep.
Okay. Anyway, so I've asked him to host a program called Ministries on the Move, and this program is designed to get ministries exposed to audiences, so in case people need what they do. And so if you have a ministry out there, whatever your ministry is, we call them parachurch ministries, you know, doing all these things. This show is designed to give you access to a bigger audience so people can be aware of what you do, and then hopefully those people who need what you do will come to you. So here's a little bit of the interview that I did with Ryan on Friday, because his show launches tomorrow.
All right.
Or, no, wait a minute, Wednesday.
Okay.
I think.
All right.
Forget. Melinda's starts tomorrow.
We'll check.
What do I know? I just work here. They're yelling at the screen right now. Hey, boss, you idiot, wake up. All I know is they're both going to be on the air several times this week.
All right.
Here's Ryan.
All right.
Ryan and I got together and I said, would you host a show that would highlight these ministries? And you jumped on it, primarily because, A, you understand it, but you sit on a lot of ministry boards.
Yes.
And so tell us about where you think the show's going.
Yeah, well, you know, Perry, again, it's just great to have this opportunity. Like you say, I'm very passionate about different ministries and different things that are happening, not only in the valley here, but all over our viewing area, right? I mean, when you look at what's happening in the world, and you know, we've had, you know, the church was there, then it was all government is going to take care of you. Well, you know, the church really is what takes care of individuals and people in need. And so these parachurch ministries, yeah, they're out there doing the things every day. They're in the trenches, right, getting these things done. And so for me, when you and I spoke, and I joke about this because I said, Perry, how can I help you? And he said, well, hey, I have an idea for this show. And I did jump on it because, again, it's a passion of mine. But let's highlight the good work of what these groups are doing, right? Yeah. Let's help them showcase what the Lord has called them to do and how they're serving their communities. And how, again, with this show, how can others get involved, whether it's monetarily or they might know somebody that needs that help? So how do we connect community to those? Again, it's something that's great. I was talking to a friend of mine yesterday, CJ, and I was telling her about what we're doing here, and she said, "Wow, it's so interesting that you can find out, what the Lord has called these people to do." And again, the whole genesis of this program is to really showcase what they're doing and how they're helping.
Maybe you've gone through a season of life, and God's calling you to go help that ministry.
Yeah.
So it has an amazing opportunity to not only bring light and exposure to what they're doing. And believe me, they do it with unbelievable passion. They do it.
Yes.
Every one of them is what I call fish and loaves. I know there's ministries out there called fish and loaves. But what I mean by that, every one of these ministries will take $1 in and turn it into $10.
Amazing.
I don't know how that happens. It just multiplies in their hands,
Yeah.
And so, and out of that will come the benefit of these families and these individuals, whatever their issues are, they work through it. So, and the other thing I want people to do, because we talk about this a lot on the air, are you serving the Lord more than just going to the church?
Yeah.
These are opportunities for you to go serve, and that's what I hope you will get from this. And your show debuts next week too.
It does. I should ask my producer exactly, but I believe
She says Tuesday at 4 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, and on Sunday for Ministries on the Move.
Okay.
Yep.
You would have that down.
I would.
You should.
Well, we got that straightened out, didn't we?
Yeah, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4. Anyway, listen, this is a big deal because we were falling behind. We've had so many requests. I just can't do it all.
And speaking of not being able to do it all, Perry, I gotta ask you, since the birth of this TV station, we've seen a lot of changes and a lot of workload be added up, because when you start producing content like this and start producing new shows and stuff, how do you fit this all in? How do you get it all done?
Well, you got to have a great team to do it, and we do. We have very passionate and talented people to get this done. But I think what something like this does, it makes you come back to stay focused on what God's called you to do. My good friend Bob Gass, who writes the devotional, he taught me one time, because we were literally thinking about putting in a counseling center. Because the need is so great.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So great.
Yeah.
And he came up to me and I said, "Bob, what do you think about this?" And he said, "You know how you kill a guy with a vision?" And I said, "No." He said, "You give him another one." Every ministry that's gotten off track, they started something else away from what the original call was.
Sure.
So stay in your lane.
Right.
Stay in your lane.
Yeah.
So we can't do all this, and yet part of the Dove's mission is to help other ministries get exposure.
Right.
Now, I've worked with and for other ministries in the past. They would not even consider doing something like that. And I'm going, wait a minute. We don't own this.
Yeah. Right.
We don't control the airways. These are tools that God's put in our hand to get the gospel out. Well, when you got Youth 71.5 doing an amazing work with young people, that's getting the gospel out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
When you got Restoration Cafe and you got
Hearts with a Mission.
Hearts with the Mission. You got rock. These are people doing the gospel.
Yes.
And so our job is get the gospel out by helping them do what God called them to do. Yeah. Every one of them is led by somebody who's been through the very thing that they're trying to help somebody else through.
Exactly. Yes.
And that's what makes them so successful. Yeah. And we have some great ministries here in Southern Oregon, so that's the purpose of that program.
All right.
And to give people outside our area access, or maybe talk to these people to start a chapter in your town.
That's a great point. I never thought of that.
All my points are great.
I like it. All right. Well, who you got coming up on?
No, I don't. Some people think that I got that Trump syndrome or something.
No.
No.
Yeah,
all right.
All right. Well, this deputy was sent to protect a child and ended up becoming her mom. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina recently shared the story of Deputy Brittany Bratcher, whose life was changed after meeting a little girl while working a case in 2023. What began as a call for protection quickly became something deeper as Bratcher stepped into the child's life not only as a deputy, but as a source of love, stability, and hope. From the start, Bratcher felt a bond and knew this child was meant to be part of her family. The road to adoption wasn't easy, marked with a long and challenging legal process, but she never gave up. And in January, that journey reached a joyful milestone. On January 12th, the adoption was finalized, turning a moment of duty into a lifetime of family, and a reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of service happen off the clock.
Isn't that something?
Yeah, love it.
Wonderful.
Love it.
All right, Dr. Lynn Mansell will be with us. He's president of the Arizona Christian University. And we'll be talking about transforming culture with truth. And Troy Miller will be with us, CEO of the NRB, the National Religious Broadcaster, talking about continuing religious persecution across America and canceling of faith. I take with you 1 Peter 5, verse 7. Listen to this verse. It's short and powerful. Casting all your anxieties on him. Why? Because he cares for you. Take that with you today. That's a good promise.
Put your gold in an envelope, mail it. Hopefully you get a check. No. Father and son jewelry, bring your gold in. We weigh it, we check it, we make you the offer.
Or turn you something old into something new. Whether it's an idea, a picture, or a piece you want to duplicate, we can melt it down and make it for you.
If you find your perfect piece in store, trade your something old for something new, and you always get a little extra.
Visit Father and Son Jewelry, 5 generations of family in Medford.
I'm Susanna, and I contracted KA Designs to do custom cabinets throughout my house. We chose a really beautiful maple wood that really creates like a nice airy space. Everything was custom, and it was really cool because I got to literally see it come to life in person. We love to entertain, and we have a large family, so everything came together perfectly, exactly what I wanted. I highly suggest KA Designs if you're looking to design your dream house. Go check them out in their showroom. You will not be disappointed.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Baptism is merely a symbol of the spiritual reality. It declares what happens spiritually when we embrace Christ. When I go under the water, I identify with his death and with his burial. Because my friend, in God's eyes, it was me hanging on the cross. Jesus Christ died as my representative. He died as your representative. And when we go under the waters of baptism, I am fully identifying with his death and burial. Coming out of the water, I identify with his resurrection. He came up out of the grave, he received a new life, and death no longer has a hold on him. And my friend, when I embraced Jesus Christ, I came up out of the grave of sin, and sin no longer has a hold on me.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Season of Shine, a new inspiring program for women, bringing encouragement, hope, and wisdom to your life. Watch here on the Dove TV.
Good morning. You're tuned to the Dove, encouraging and informative, helping Oregon, Northern California, Idaho, and Nevada start the day with news and encouragement. This is Mornings on the Dove.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning to you. Happy Monday. Back at it right here. This is where it happens. at the Dove Cabin.
That's right.
It's kind of like Nerve Central.
Yeah,
right
this is
here.
a good place to get snowed in if it would snow in this part of the country.
Yeah, we were just kind of hoping if we went here that somehow we'd get snowed in, that
Yeah.
we'd have to stay here.
Yeah.
But no.
No, instead you got to be down like Nashville, Tennessee, or New Mexico, or all the way up in Maine.
You can drive your golf cart here. There's nothing on the road. You don't need a snowmobile. You don't need anything. You can ride your bike here. Anyway, good morning to you. Happy Monday. A lot going on in the news. There always is. High and dry in the Pacific Northwest, but over 50% excuse me, of the country went through and still is involved in a snow and ice storm.
Yeah.
Boy, it went from the Rockies all the way through, actually Arizona, all the way through to New England.
2,000-mile-long storm front.
Boy.
Amazing.
And people are still socked in. Some people are still without.
Thousands of people without power. Right.
It's pretty messy out. Tens of thousands of airline flights have been canceled.
We saw Times Square this morning, all snowed in, hardly any traffic moving at all. Nashville is just dead. There's just stopped. There's nothing going on.
So anyway, we'll have all that for you. Good morning to you. A lot in the news. Minneapolis very much in the news, and we'll chit-chat a little bit about that mess. And are we heading for a government shutdown by Friday?
Oh, we could be, and for a new reason.
New reasons.
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Anyway, good morning, buddy. What do you got?
Well, darling, enjoy the coffee I made and left for you today. I'll be thinking about you all day long. I can't wait until we get together for dinner tonight. It's National Spouses Day.
I'm going to charge you for that ad. That's $300. Cough it up.
Just reminds us to be thankful for our loving mate and for the fulfillment and security of a long-term relationship to boost the morale and well-being that is provided by spouses. So, honey, I hope you enjoy your day. It's also National Bubble Wrap Day. These two events don't have any connection.
No, well, you're charting it.
No. Anyway, bubble wrap. Bubble wrap, invented by two guys who in 1956, for some reason, decided to glue two shower curtains together. Now, when they did it, as you can imagine, there were a lot of little pockets of bubbles in it.
Yeah.
And they looked at that and they thought, well, this is pretty cool. Let's market this as wallpaper. And everybody else said, well, maybe cool, but doesn't look cool on my walls.
Yeah.
So it didn't work. So they kind of modified it, and then it became refrigeration insulation. Well, by 1961, they had refined it to the point that it had evolved into the bubble wrap that we know today, and it really got on the map because in 1961, that's when IBM started shipping their 1401 computer, and they wrapped it all in bubble wrap. And the rest, as they say, is history. And when you get your hands on the bubble wrap, you can hardly help but go.
You got to do that. Drives everybody crazy.
I love it. Yeah. Anyway, so enjoy your bubble wrap. It's also National Peanut Brittle Day.
Ooh.
So, what makes peanut brittle brittle?
Sugar.
Yep. The sugar is cooked to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, called the hard crack stage. And this makes the candy hard with a snap to it. Stretching the sugar once it cools to a malleable temperature gives the brittle a delicate, brittle texture. And one of the nice things about peanut brittle is it is one of the candies that a lot of people can make at home. So you get a lot of homemade peanut brittle.
Yeah, you do.
It is really good.
You got it. It's one of those temperature things.
Yes. Absolutely.
I love it. Brought to you by the American Dental Association.
Yeah, in more ways than one. It's not just the sugar coating your teeth. It's that brittle part.
Oh, yeah. It breaks your teeth off. Ruins your caps. Does all the things that dentists want you to do.
Well, I will say this. It has never done as much damage to me as popcorn has.
Well, now that's kind of...
I have paid some money to my dentist because of popcorn. And it was at one of those places. Do you ever go into any of those retail places where they give you popcorn?
Yeah.
Yeah, at Eagle Point Hardware they did. They used to do it in Walmart, a number of places. That's where I did it. I'm walking through one of these retail places with Pam, and I go, hey, there's popcorn there. I go, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I just broke a tooth.
So you got the kernel.
Yeah, I got homemade, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely. Oh, anyway. So, peanut brittle. Wash it down with green juice.
Ooh.
Yeah, Yes, a vibrant reminder on this day to stick to those healthy resolutions by fueling our bodies with concentrated power that is found in leafy greens. Now, cold pressing is best. You are to use a masticating juicer. And if you're making your juice at home, obviously, this kind of juicer helps preserve more enzyme than the high-speed centrifugal juicers. And you should wash your greens in cold water first. Winter months are hard on vegetables, especially if they have to travel far to get to the grocery store. So a quick soak refreshes them quickly. And finally, drink your green juice fresh. You should drink it within 15 to 20 minutes before the light and air start breaking down those precious nutrients. So have your peanut brittle and wash it down with green juice and enjoy. But it is healthy. At least we got something healthy this morning.
Wow.
Right?
Well, here's proof of what green juice can do to a person if you leave it out for over a day.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With continued high pressure today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and 47 in McMinnville with a slight chance of showers. Moving down the Willamette Valley with widespread morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with daytime high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 53 in Eugene with a calm wind. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 40s for Prineville, partly sunny in mid-40s in Bend, and gradual clearing in near 44 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, increasing clouds in mid-30s. Partly sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s from Coos Bay through Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California with a light south wind. In southern Oregon, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Grants Pass, decreasing clouds in Medford, and partly sunny in Ashland with highs near 52. In the Klamath Basin, partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Into northern California, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Wairika, mostly sunny and near 58 in Redding and near 57 in Chico. Patchy fog this morning in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 59. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then mostly sunny with highs near 60 in Santa Rosa and 59 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light and variable wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 66. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
Beautiful shot of our valley this morning, and still a little bit of stagnant air is a problem, but we don't have any of that fog right on the ground. And let's see here, some high clouds coming in, which could indicate maybe tomorrow something could happen.
Yeah.
We'll see how it happens.
I got two questions for you. Do you have any IOUs out there anywhere?
IOUs.
IOUs. Anybody holding your IOUs? And are you holding anyone else's IOUs?
Apple's pretty clear about it. About surety for somebody else.
Never lender or borrower be.
Well, who's a slave to who?
Yeah, moving on. Anne Graham Lotz is here. We have great encouragement as she points to the many sacrifices made in the Old Testament as IOUs.
In the Old Testament, when somebody wanted to be right with God, and I'm going to simplify this, but he would bring a little lamb to the temple and bring the lamb to the priest, and the sinner would grasp the lamb with his hands, and he would confess his sin. It was as though the guilt of his sin was transferred to the little lamb. The sinner took the knife and killed the lamb. And then the priest would take the blood of the lamb and sprinkle it on the altar, and that made atonement for the person's sin. And he was made right with God. It was because of his faith in God's word that said, if you'll do that, then I'll take away your sin. I'll bring you into a reconciled relationship with me. So think of the oceans of blood that were shed, the rivers of blood that were shed in the Old Testament. And Hebrews says, the blood of lambs and goats and bulls can't take away sin. So what in the world was going on? And I think it was this. Every time somebody put their faith in God's word that said, if you do this, I'll atone for your sin, bring you into right relationship with me, you obey my word and bring that little lamb and confess your sin, I owe you forgiveness. So every sacrifice, it was like God saying, I owe you forgiveness. There were I owe you notes that were being piled up. And then John the Baptist saw Jesus of Nazareth walking beside the Jordan River, and he said, look, there goes the Lamb of God who will take away the sin of the world. And when Jesus went to the cross, listen, when he went to the cross and he shed his blood, and all of those IOU notes were paid up in full. So.
God, what a communicator.
Yeah.
Wow, good stuff. You have been given your IOU.
There you go.
All right, good morning to you. 10 minutes past the hour. Let's take a look at some of the top stories this morning. And again, I just want to say the big story comes out of Minneapolis with the shooting over the weekend. And as I was looking through the various interpretations of this, it's really interesting. You go to all the different news sources, and you're going to get a twist and a turn and a bias of the story.
Yeah.
Let me say about this. First of all, it's really, really bad. Okay. Secondly, let me encourage you to wait until all the facts are out. Right now, we're dealing with a lot of emotions on everything. But this is really bad. And so I'm going to give you headlines today based upon the headlines. I'm going to keep my personal out of it because I just don't need I just don't need what it says. But the former president, Barack Obama, is actually saying every American should support and draw inspiration from the wave of peaceful protests in Minneapolis. That was his comments.
Wow,
okay.
That's too bad.
In the meantime, Alex Pretty, he's the guy that lost his life. He was a, I think, an emergency room nurse.
Yeah, I think so.
Anyway, now there's been some research done, and more is coming out that they apparently found some cryptic signal messages among various mobilizations of the demonstrators to harass the federal agents, and then socialist groups capitalizing on the killing of the protest. Now, the problem with this here is I've watched the video, listened to the comments. A couple of things here that need to be understood is, yes, ICE is doing some arresting in Minneapolis. People don't like that, okay? Secondly, this gentleman was where he wasn't supposed to be. Before that, one of these mobilization groups were there harassing the ICE as they were going into, I think, a donut shop, if I remember right, to get an illegal. And in the meantime, this skirmish led to this young man being shot. And now we find out that he's carrying a 9mm gun with a magazine.
A couple extra magazines.
Yeah. So what was his intentions? The smart guy apparently over the last couple of weeks was radicalized. Even his parents commented on how they were very concerned that he would go down there and do what he did. It's one thing to disobey the police. He wasn't supposed to be there.
Right.
Then he disobeys them, and he's carrying a gun.
Yeah. And
what do you do with this?
Unfortunately, yeah. And I actually saw some video over the weekend about other protesters are coming to the protests armed now. And so we're seeing more and more guns. In fact, I even saw a long gun being carried by a protester in Minneapolis.
So let me...
Go ahead. I was just going to say, are these protesters being emboldened by the leadership in Minneapolis trying to delegitimize ICE by saying such things as Governor Walz did, that he said, quit calling them law enforcement officers, they are not. And that's totally what they are.
Some of the cryptic messages that were uncovered over the weekend suggest insurrection. In other words, they're trolling this kind of activity.
Okay.
So this young man's going to be made into a George Floyd type of thing, okay, plus the young gal that was shot, all of these things going on. The only thing I can say, it's bad all the way around. There's a lot of finger pointing going all the way around. This thing needs to cool down. And I think the only way that it can cool down, even though the president is calling for an urgent call for obstruction, and especially sanctuary cities. Sanctuary cities were created for this kind of activity. It was created to protect bad people. Period. Illegals. Okay. It's now erupted into this mess. Let me say to all of us out there, if I was in charge for 10 minutes, this is what I would do. I'd send Attorney General Bondi and President Trump to Minnesota to sit down with Governor Walz and the Attorney General in Minnesota and work this out. ICE is doing the job by getting bad people. The police in those areas aren't doing the job by getting bad people. And now the police can't even stop the agitators, let alone get a bad person.
Right.
What's the fallout from all of this? The largest corruption story in the history of the United States is now no longer front and center.
Right. People are not out protesting billions of dollars being stolen out of their wallets. They're out protesting law enforcement activities with a group that is actually just enforcing the laws of the land. This is crazy.
So what's swept under the carpet is $18 to $20 billion of fraud.
Right.
And so that'll come back out, don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, then the other story was, now, as you know, the Democrats last week said that they would go ahead and during the funding package of getting the government funded through this deadline coming up at the end of the week. Senator Schumer said yesterday they're going to pull that funding. So what does that mean? Get ready for a government shutdown.
Right. So,
and are we ready for this again?
Now we're going to fight about two things for the government, shutdown. We're going to talk about Obama subsidies on Obamacare and defunding ICE, right? Yeah. So here we go again. Is it inevitable? Is the government going to shut down again?
It looks like it.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it?
But I'm not going to say what I was going to say because I just don't want the pushback. I'm really hoping that people will be smart enough. If you can look past the personalities that are involved and look at the facts of the evidence, and all the facts of the evidence is not out yet.
Right.
But we need to pray that this calms down. You've got evil on steroids. You got lawlessness on steroids. You got evil and lawlessness, which are probably twins, being displayed in our culture as being okay to do.
Right. Yeah.
And so we're in a really high-level spiritual battle, unlike anything we've seen, as to whether or not America is going to remain a country of laws or not.
Yeah.
That's what's on the stake here. So that's my 2 cents, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. You're right.
So let's just go to Minneapolis and give everybody some green juice and peanut brittle.
Say, go home. Go home.
We'll be right back.
Since 1934, Grange Co-op has been more than just a store. We've been a cornerstone of our community, owned by people like you. We proudly offer top-quality farm and ranch supplies, including our own Rogue feed, as well as workwear, Western apparel, garden essentials, and pet care products. By signing up as a Grange Rewards customer, you not only enjoy exclusive benefits like special offers and 1% back on most purchases, but you also become part of something bigger, a cooperative that you own and help shape. Join Grange Rewards today.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us, and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and joy. It's your season to shine.
Premieres Monday, January 26 at 4 p.m. on the Dove TV. More at thedove.us.
Hi, good morning. 19 minutes now past the hour on a Monday morning. Back at it, and back to school, back to work, and well, at least the Pacific Northwest, the rest of the country is buried in snow and ice. So,
yeah,
be careful. A little bit of backyard news. You know, one of the companies that we were very proud of has now left, Dutch Bros. They started in Grants Pass. Their history, their story, everything is pretty remarkable. They now moved down to Phoenix, their headquarters have. And but they made news the other day because they bought out the Clutch Coffee Bar Company with 20 locations in the Carolinas. And this now makes Dutch Bros has more than 1,000 locations nationwide.
My goodness.
So the Clutch Coffee Bar is going to become Dutch Brothers there in the Carolinas. Kind of an interesting story.
Yeah.
I haven't paid any attention to their stock lately. I don't know how it's doing, but pretty busy.
Are all their locations owned by Dutch Bros, or are they franchises? How do they work? Do you know?
Great question. And there was a time where you could own the franchise.
Okay.
And I think when they went public, now don't quote me on this, but I'm just trying to connect the dots in my head. They went and bought all their franchises back. I think.
Okay.
And only because going public, you kind of have to have that kind of control for quality control and everything else that you're doing.
All right.
So I don't know. I haven't paid attention to their stock lately, but hey, they're doing well.
What a success
I will
story.
say one thing.
Man, what?
You can walk out here at that door right there.
Yeah.
You go out there and see their jet sitting on the ground out there all the time. You're in and out of here a lot.
Yeah, nothing says success like that.
No. You got your own little, what's it called?
I don't know.
DB, so that would be Delta Bravo.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
More than 10,800 flights have been canceled with the storm going through most of the country, from the southern Rocky Mountains all the way up through New England. It has shut down everything. And 1 to 2 feet of snow in some areas, inches otherwise. And now they're saying around 11,000 flights have been canceled. A lot of people still without electricity. Nobody's going nowhere. And it is a serious storm. And so I don't know how people who have to travel will get back online with this. But this is big stuff. And it's just paralyzed most of the country. And it's out there. So drive carefully. In the meantime, us here, we still continue with a mild weather pattern. We do have a chance of maybe some rain tomorrow in our own backyard. But for the most part, we are high, dry, and mild temperatures to the point there is no skiing going on in most of the major ski resorts in the Pacific Northwest. Will we recover? Will April showers be cold or warm?
Yeah, well, that's a great.
That's
great
2 months
question.
away. We still have time.
We do.
We do, but it'll be a short season. But we need some cold air now. Hopefully, this high pressure off the west coast will break up and let some low pressure. We'll see.
Yeah.
There's a chance for that tomorrow. In the meantime, Prince William, king in waiting.
Yeah.
He had a hobby, and that was scooting around in his palace with an electric scooter. Well, apparently, since they moved over to the what they call the Windsor Great Parks area, which into the other palace in that area, his little hobby of scooting around on his electric scooter, he can't do that anymore because the city and the neighborhood has a ordinance you can't do this. And even though he's doing it inside his own backyard,
really,
he's going to give it up because he wants to be a good neighbor.
Oh, man.
What does that leave him with?
Yeah.
I mean, what toy does the guy have?
Yeah.
Is he going to take up skeet shooting?
Right. He doesn't get to,
everybody.
He doesn't get to fly helicopters anymore, right?
No,
Now they took his scooter away from him.
Yeah.
How about that?
What's left?
Oh, man.
Bowling?
He's going to
Cricket?
He can grab the hand of his wife and go for a walk in the park because that's what's left.
I get all that, but so is there any reconciliation going on with
I don't think so. I think everything right now is trying to move forward, preserving the monarchy, cleaning up all the excess, all the issues that kind of cloud the monarchy, like Uncle, what's his name? The
Andrew.
Prince Andrew, Uncle Andrew and brother.
So Uncle Andrew, I guess, is going to move to an island.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
He has no more title or anything like that.
He's got to get out of town. He's an embarrassment. I don't know what you do with
Harry and Meghan, I don't know
what you do with that one. Yeah. Could they ever kiss and Meghan? I really hope that Harry and his dad at least can reconcile.
Oh, yeah. And what we hear is that his dad is a little bit more sympathetic to that reconciliation, but his brother, who is going to be king, is not. He is trying to preserve the monarchy.
Yeah, apparently he's been steeped really hard in the tradition of the monarchy.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the vanguard of what it should be.
And what a difference in spouses for these two, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that almost is the crux of the issue, isn't it?
You know, I don't know. Look, I deal enough drama. Family.
Do you want to do a counseling session with them? Come on.
Oh, for those two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be. I would love to hear it. I mean, I know those things are private, but it'd be interesting to see you get down to the root of the problem.
Yeah.
That was a pregnant pause.
You know how you start that?
Oh.
In my opinion.
Yeah,
I'm not a professional, so don't.
All right.
You got to find common ground. What is it? What is the common ground that you could start at? I mean, can they go fishing together?
Oh. Yeah.
They're both helicopter pilots.
There you go. Let's go fly.
Let's go flying.
Yeah. There you go.
You know?
I think you got it.
You know?
I think you did.
Have a couple of beers and jump into a helicopter.
Wait a minute. Jump into a helicopter, then go.
Oh, that what I got that turned around.
Wait a minute.
But you got to find common ground.
Okay.
You just can't come in the room with all these defenses. You know.
Yeah.
Let's go fishing. Let's go fly a helicopter.
Yeah.
Let's go ride our scooters where we're not
Right.
supposed to ride our scooters.
Right.
You know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you know, and seriously, they should rekindle that bond that they had, because they came through troubled waters too, with the relationship between their dad and their mom and what happened to their mom.
Yeah.
You know, and so they have a lot of common ground miles between them.
So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
I would find a common place where they could sit down, and whether it's flying or something.
Mm-hmm.
Then I'd take them to their mother's grave.
Perfect. Great idea. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then I'd take them back to a pub.
Okay.
And start talking.
There you go. Yeah, I'll bet you're an expensive counselor.
Oh gosh, you can't even afford. You couldn't even afford the stamp that I'm going to send the invoice to you. That's crazy.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look at Wall Street for a Monday morning. Good morning. Thank you, Preston. Smart lawn. If you're smart, you'll call them because you won't mow your lawn anymore. Here it is. The Dow's up 148, having a happy day. The Nasdaq's up 93, and the S&P up 28, almost 29. So a little green ink at the beginning of the week. That's good news in spite of all the heartache around the world. Look at this. Gold is at 5,000. Look at silver.
Oh my God.
$110. And crude oil's down about 20 cents, $64.04. Wow, those are big numbers. Those are huge numbers.
Man, okay.
Good stuff all the way around.
We're all talking about the events in Minneapolis. A nurse, an ER room nurse, coming out to the protests with a handgun, eventually ending up getting shot and killed. And Christine Noem has given a news conference about those events. Let's listen in to her.
At 9:05 a.m. Central Time, the Department of Homeland Security law enforcement officials and officers were conducting targeted operations in Minneapolis against an illegal alien whose criminal history included domestic assault with intentionally inflicting bodily harm, disorderly conduct, and driving without a valid license. An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for the lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted to deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at this scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals and to kill law enforcement. About hundreds of protesters then showed up at the scene. They began to obstruct and to assault law enforcement officers. We saw objects being thrown at them, including ice and other objects, and a rampant assault began, and even an HSI officer agent's finger was bitten off. Crowd control measures were deployed to bring safety to the public and to law enforcement at the scene. And once again, I want to remind everybody that this situation and this tragedy did not have to happen. Our law enforcement are doing everything that they can to protect the public. We're praying for this deceased loved one's family and friends, but we also recognize that the Minnesota governor and the Minneapolis mayor need to take a long, hard look in the mirror. They need to evaluate their rhetoric, their conversations, and their encouragement of such violence against our citizens and our law enforcement officers. I'll remind you that Governor Walz today in his press conference said that our officers were not even law enforcement, which is a lie. He's called them the Gestapo. He's encouraged residents and citizens and violent rioters to resist. He's doxed their identities, putting themselves and their families' lives in jeopardy. He's refused to turn over murderers to federal law enforcement officers. He's protected illegal criminals and protected them from being brought to justice, and even overseen a historic, unprecedented theft of American taxpayer dollars.
So, give this time, it'll unwind. There was another part of this, since learned, that the gentleman that lost his life, he comes to the scene with a 9mm and 2 magazines, automatic weapon.
Yeah.
Okay. No ID.
Right, yes.
All right, even though he had a permit to carry, you have to have ID to do that.
Right.
And he didn't have it.
Exactly.
So what was his intentions?
Right, nothing good.
Okay.
Right.
So in the meantime, yes, as they were trying to bring calm to that, and of course the agitators attacking ICE, one of the ICE guys loses his finger. They actually bit it off. Bit it off. That shows you the level of evil that's going on here. It's pretty. It's just really bad all the way around. All right. Good morning to you. Peanut brittle. I'm trying to figure out
and green gunk.
You ever had bad peanut brittle? You ever had peanut brittle that has too much air in it?
Right. You know what else I've had? I've had burned peanut brittle.
Oh yeah, that's not good.
Yeah.
No.
Don't burn your peanuts.
No. Well, now there's the advice of the day.
Yeah.
Jerry Bilden says, don't burn your peanuts. We'll be right back.
Buying or selling a home can be stressful. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll make in your lifetime. That's why it's important to work with someone you trust, someone who has the right experience and knowledge of the market.
Hi, we're Patrick and Paulina Lizer with Lizer Real Estate Group.
And whether you're looking to buy or sell a home, our mission is to take the stress out of the transaction and make it as seamless and rewarding as possible.
Contact us today. We look forward to working with you.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these Ministries on the Move.
Premiere is Tuesday, January 27th at 4 p.m. on theDove TV, encouraging and informative. More at theDove.us.
A ministry moment on theDove.
Now notice when Jesus called his disciples, he never hid from them the fact that to follow him meant suffering, persecution, and death. We have a great deal of what someone has called cheap grace. Easy to follow Christ. Easy to get in the church. In Jesus' day, he called them to suffering. He didn't call them to a playground. He called them to a battlefield. He called them to war, spiritual war. And he said, you're going to suffer, and you're going to be wounded, and you're going to die in my cause. Because the world is going to reject me. This world that's dominated by evil and sin will reject me.
A ministry moment on theDove.
Welcome back. 26 minutes before the hour. Back at it on a Monday morning. At least here in the Pacific Northwest, we're enjoying some mild weather. We may get some rain tomorrow. We'll see. Oh, praise the Lord if we can just break up that high pressure system off the West Coast. East Coast and Central America, pretty much socked in with bad weather.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on with in Iran? And will the United States respond with military action? Let's check in with CBN Newswatch and find out.
This is CBN Newswatch.
So if there were some sort of strike, how would Iran respond?
Well, they're warning. They have a lot of bluster. They're saying more than ever, their fingers on the trigger. Their army is prepared for a worst case scenario. And they say they hope any military buildup won't lead to a real confrontation. How they could respond: ballistic missiles, strikes, drones, UAVs. They could hit U.S. bases, U.S. assets in the Gulf. They could use their proxies like the Houthis or Hezbollah. They could use cyber attacks, or they could seek negotiations to survive, or a mix of all the above, Ephraim. But the capabilities for Iran seem much less than they were now before the war with Israel and the United States 12 days ago, with so much of their military and leadership affected by that war.
Is Israel ready for retaliation from Iran if there is a U.S. strike?
Well, they say they are, Ephraim. The IDF spokesman said they are ready offensively and defensively. They have layers of anti-missile systems, including the Iron Dome, David's Sling, the Arrow. Hospitals are ready in case of any attacks. But I would say, Ephraim, right now there really is a sense of calm here in Israel. People have been through this 3 times already. They have bomb shelters. Most of the missiles have been intercepted in the past. There'll be a coalition of nations that will help shield Israel, we understand. But overall, it's just so important to be praying for the Iranian people, the peace of this region, and as always, the peace of Jerusalem.
All right, our CBN News Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell, thank you for your insights. As always, we look forward to hearing from you in the days ahead this week. From coast to coast, nearly 200 million Americans felt the blast of a winter storm carrying heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain. Highways turned into ice rinks and airports are shut down. More than 800,000 people still without power, leaving many freezing in their homes. Dale Hurd has our coverage.
From New Mexico in the southwest all the way to New England, a dangerous mix of heavy snow, sleet, and freezing rain affected more than half of Americans. At least 20 governors declared states of emergency. Airlines canceled more than 11,000 U.S. flights Sunday. That's the most for a single day since the start of the COVID pandemic.
And I've been stuck here, and I'll be stuck here for 2 more days.
A private plane carrying 8 people crashed after taking off from Bangor, Maine.
Aircraft upside down. We have a passenger aircraft upside down.
Still no word on injuries. More than 800,000 power outages have been reported across 11 states.
We're going to have to stay at a friend's house who's got heat. Okay. We don't have anything.
In Louisiana, 2 men died of hypothermia. In New York City, at least 6 deaths are linked to the storm. North of Dallas, a 14-inch water main burst, flooding streets and forcing officials to shut off water to homes. Dangerous driving conditions stretched for 2,000 miles. The National Guard was deployed in Arkansas to help move stranded vehicles out of the snow. In Mississippi, crews were clearing the streets, with officials urging people to stay off the roads. Boston and parts of New England braced for up to 2 feet of snow, while parts of New York and Pennsylvania got more than a foot, the most the areas have seen in years. Just north of Washington, D.C., White House correspondent Kelly Wright's neighborhood saw a foot of snow.
This is a ruler, and it's not the most scientific way of doing things, but I'm going to stick this 12-inch ruler into the ground to see how deep it goes, to get a sense of the accumulation right here in my own neighborhood.
And in the nation's capital, folks tried to make the best of it with a giant snowball fight. Dale Hurd, CBN News.
A U.S. Border Patrol agent shot and killed Alex Jeffrey Pretty in Minneapolis amid the immigration crackdown in that area. A Homeland Security spokesperson says he had a firearm with 2 magazines. However, some eyewitnesses say he did not have a gun in his hand when he approached federal agents. The shooting happened amid widespread protests in the Twin Cities since the shooting of Renee Good back on January 7th. A number of Republican leaders are calling for a deeper investigation.
All right, welcome back. And let's see here. There we are. Good morning to you. Jerry's out to lunch. He's always out to lunch, and so much so that he went out to get the weather report. And here's what he had to say.
A look at our weather from Grange Co-op. With continued high pressure today in northern Oregon and southern Washington, morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with highs near 50 for Vancouver, Portland, and Wilsonville, and 47 in McMinnville with a slight chance of showers. Moving down the Willamette Valley with widespread morning frost, otherwise partly sunny with daytime high temperatures near 50 for Salem, Albany, and Corvallis, and near 53 in Eugene with a calm wind. In central Oregon, mostly cloudy with a high in the upper 40s for Prineville, partly sunny in mid-40s in Bend, and gradual clearing in near 44 in Sun River. Over in Boise, Idaho, increasing clouds in mid-30s. Partly sunny skies along the Oregon coast with daytime high temperatures in the mid to upper 50s from Coos Bay through Port Orford, Brookings, and Crescent City, California, with a light south wind. In southern Oregon, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Grants Pass, decreasing clouds in Medford, and partly sunny in Ashland with highs near 52. In the Klamath Basin, partly sunny with highs in the mid-40s. Into Northern California, partly sunny with a high near 50 in Wairika, mostly sunny and near 58 in Redding and near 57 in Chico. Patchy fog this morning in Sacramento, then mostly sunny with a high near 59. In the Bay Area, patchy fog, then mostly sunny with highs near 60 in Santa Rosa and 59 in Napa. Sunny in San Francisco with a high near 61 and a light and variable wind. And today in San Jose, sunny and near 66. It's a snapshot of your Monday weather from Grange Co-op.
All right, a beautiful shot of our valley this morning, the sun and the high clouds, and nothing really out there. Maybe a little stagnant air, but certainly nothing going on. Has made for a beautiful sunrise this morning, so that's kind of where we're heading.
Well, she broke new ground when she was sworn in as Secretary of State on this day in history.
On January 26, 2005, history was made in Washington, D.C. as Condoleezza Rice was sworn in as Secretary of State, becoming the first black woman to hold the position and the highest-ranking African-American woman ever to serve in a presidential cabinet. A native of Birmingham, Alabama, Dr. Rice built an extraordinary resume. She earned advanced degrees in political science and international relations, then rose to become provost at Stanford University, where she gained national attention as an expert on Soviet affairs. That expertise led her to the White House, serving Presidents Reagan, George H.W. Bush, and George W. Bush, including a pivotal role as National Security Advisor during President Bush's first term. At her swearing-in ceremony, President Bush praised her steady leadership and even joked, "We love her." I don't know if you're supposed to say that about the Secretary of State. Both Bush and Rice also honored her predecessor, Colin Powell, the first African-American Secretary of State, marking a powerful moment of progress and continuity in American history.
Well, she was a class act.
Oh, boy. And you know what? She was a classical musician.
Yeah.
She was a pianist. She performed chamber music for the Queen Elizabeth II in 2008.
Yeah.
So she had that side of her brain working, too.
Yeah. She returned to academia, still at Stanford, doing a good thing. So good stuff all the way around. Well, the guy that played Jesus on the Chosen, quite a guy, Jonathan, and he never was, how could I say it? He had a hard time getting going in his acting career.
All right.
Now, we have a picture somewhere around him of him wearing a Dove hat.
Yeah, Jonathan Rumi with a Dove hat on. That's something cool.
There you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, here's his story about how he got started.
When I moved out to Los Angeles, it was essentially to take acting full-time. And so I now no longer had a support system for my income. The bills kept coming, and the breaks didn't. My checking account was overdraft like $100, and I had $20 in my pocket. The only thing I could think to do in that moment was to get on my knees and pray. And it was silence. There was nothing. So, you know what? I'm going to use your words from the Bible, the words that you said. Come to me, all who are weary and heavy laden, burdened, and I shall give you rest. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light. So you know what, Jesus? Take some of mine. I'm out, man. I surrender. And I opened my mailbox, and in the mailbox were 4 checks that covered all my bills that were coming due. At that point, I realized that the moment I surrendered and let go of what I thought my life and my career should look like and give it to God, he's like, now you're ready for me to do what I'm going to do with you.
Yeah. So for everyone, it's different.
Yeah.
You know, but the question is rhetorical. What does complete, total, and absolute surrender look like for you? Think about that.
Yeah, well, you know, for a lot of us, oftentimes, it just means getting ourself out of the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's something you and God have to work out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll take a quick break and be right back.
30 seconds or less. That's the length of a soundbite in a typical news story. If you're lucky, you can't really learn much in 30 seconds. It takes time to ask questions, learn, and explore the facts to really understand. Focus Today on the Dove TV and Radio does just that. We give you an hour covering several issues and newsmakers in depth. So don't settle for quick soundbites. Get to the heart of a story and understand better. Focus Today, weekdays on the Dove TV and Radio.
The Lennox iComfort S30 thermostat can sense changes in your environment. It even knows when you come and go. So now your home's most important system is also the smartest.
Metal Masters can give you the smartest home comfort system available. It knows when you're away and adjusts when allergens and humidity get uncomfortable. Trust Metal Masters to provide perfect air for your family.
Lennox. Air is life. Make it perfect.
Heavenly Father, I just want to say thank you today. I don't want to pray just when I need something or when things aren't going my way. I need you all the time, no matter what is going on, and I just want to say thank you. Even though things aren't perfect, you are, and your plan for me is. Thank you for your grace, for your mercy, for your unconditional love for me. And most of all, thank you for sending your son Jesus to die for my sins to prove that unconditional love. That even while I was a sinner, he died for me. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Twin Factor is brought to you on the Dove TV by Black Flag Armory. Firearms, gunsmithing, training, and the best prices in Southern Oregon. Twin Factor, weekends on the Dove TV.
Hi, good morning. 12 minutes before the hour. This is a fun week because we are launching a couple of new programs. One of our goals in redoing the studio was to create the opportunity to create more content right out of the Dove. And we have two things in mind that were really significant to start with. One was ministering to other parachurch ministries, giving them a platform. So Ryan Robertson is doing a show called Ministries on the Move. We talked about it last hour. The other show is a show for women, Season to Shine, and Melinda Robertson is hosting this show. This is actually, we actually started this quite a while ago, and then we had a lot of delays and everything, and then we're right in the middle of this project, and it just kept getting pushed back. Well, it debuts this week. We're pretty excited about it. And you and I will never, ever be allowed on that show.
We won't?
Nope.
Why?
Or any other male.
I get it.
You get it?
I get it.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is and rightfully so. I get it. I mean, we're having fun with that.
Yeah.
But a lot of women are really struggling out there. And a lot of women have been through a lot of storms that they need to share, so it will be an encouragement for other women.
Right. And we need a show that encourages women because on the other side, we got shows like The View.
Yeah.
You know, this is...
no, this is not even close.
No, this is wholesome.
No,
this is good.
This is designed for women, to help women.
Yeah.
And Melinda has a heart for this, and she's done a wonderful job. So anyway, I had them on the program Friday to talk about it. And so here's my conversation with Melinda about Season to Shine. Melinda is hosting a show called Season to Shine. Now, I have nicknamed it Shiny Shoes, only because that's an inside joke. But it's a great program that is going to be dealing with women issues, and she's just doing a wonderful job. And this has been a passion of yours for a long time. Why?
Yeah, you know, years and years ago, I always had it on my heart to be a part of women's community, but specifically in India. And yeah, which is pretty far away. And having a family and all that dream, or the dream on my heart just kind of got pushed back. So much that I really forgot about it until fairly recently when I was thinking about having these women on the show, and how the Lord is so good because he has brought that dream back, but it just looks different than what I originally thought it would. It's for all ages, really. A lot of the guests are from 30 to on up. We never say our age. And yeah, you know, I just want it to be a program where women can relate, that they're not alone, that they can grasp something, some kind of nugget on the other end of the TV, and be able just to feel a sense of community. And
it takes a woman to talk to a woman.
It does.
To get into the heart of a woman so that women can be ministered to. That's the bottom line of what's going on.
And we need each other. Women need each other. And for some that can't leave their homes or are so busy with their families or whatever, if they can listen, watch to this, and just feel some sort of connection, then I've achieved the goal.
After COVID, the leading emotion in America is fear.
Sure.
Women deal with both of those. And if you take loneliness and fear and you put them together in a woman's life, it can produce insecurity.
Sure.
And you're hearing that with people you talk to.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm also hearing about how these women are making it through tough circumstances and shining bright in them. And you know, the Lord does and brings them through if we allow him to. Yeah. So that's the story that I want to be able to share with other women.
Okay, so when's this program debuting?
This week, today at 4.
Today at 4. Okay. All right.
And a couple of other times throughout the week. So it's she's filmed. I shouldn't say that because I corrected her on that. She's recorded. We put it that way. We don't use film around here. That's an old term. Yeah. Anyway, she's recorded quite a few programs, and I, sitting there in the control room listening to the conversation, I go, "Whoa, this is pretty interesting stuff." So anyway, it launches this week. Both of these shows debut this week, and we're pretty excited about it. It's a big commitment here because when you start something like this, you got to stick with it. Right. And you got to keep producing these things.
Yeah, because this media is a hungry animal.
Oh boy.
It requires a lot of feeding. How's that working out on your schedule? I mean, because
it's a big gorilla that eats red meat. It sits over there in the corner and just says, "Feed me, feed me." Feed me. Yes. No, it's really. I won't get into all of it, but in our industry, what we do with developing your own content is what makes you unique.
Right.
And so these are two programs that are not only needed, okay, and they're needed not only for what they are and ministering to the audience, okay, but they're needed by people who can take advantage of what they're doing. Both of these will, I think, encourage people. That's our heart, encourage people, and to bring reality into focus, you know. I think sometimes Christianity gets a little plastic.
Yeah. Did you have this in mind when you developed and created this new studio space?
Yes. Yeah, we have some other shows in mind that we're looking at.
Oh, okay.
It's just time, money, and energy.
Yeah, well.
I'm running out of all three.
Yeah, good luck.
I'd give you your own show, but you're blowing it right now.
I do not seek and I will not accept.
No, but anyway, that's why the Lord made it possible for us to do this. And we've had some of the big industry people walk in and say, "We've never seen a television studio like this before."
Right.
Well, it wasn't designed just to be TV. It was designed to do multiple things. And part of it is developing new content. So we're on our way, debuting Melinda today at 4, Ryan tomorrow at 4. Well, that'll be the debuts.
Some folks have never seen studio space like this, and other folks have never seen a program like this before.
There you go. No, we're in trouble.
Yes.
We're going down.
Yeah.
Will you come feed us somewhere, wherever we get caught?
Yeah.
So, anyway, congratulations to both of them. We're looking forward to that.
All right. Well, this is cool because this deputy was sent to protect a child and ended up becoming her mom. The Greenville County Sheriff's Office in South Carolina recently shared the story of Deputy Brittany Bratcher, whose life was changed after meeting a little girl while working a case in 2023. What began as a call for protection quickly became something deeper as Bratcher stepped into the child's life not only as a deputy, but as a source of love, stability, and hope. From the start, Bratcher felt a bond and knew this child was meant to be part of her family. The road to adoption wasn't easy, marked with a long and challenging legal process, but she never gave up. And in January, that journey reached a joyful milestone. On January 12th, the adoption was finalized, turning a moment of duty into a lifetime of family, and a reminder that sometimes the greatest acts of service happen off the clock.
Mm-hmm. Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
What a great story.
Fantastic. Yep.
Okay. Well, listen, take this scripture with you today. This is a promise just for you, and you may want to write it down, put it on your refrigerator. You may just want to stick it on the end of your nose. All right, 1 Peter 5:7, okay? Casting all your anxieties on him. Why? Because he cares for you. Do you believe that? Do you believe that the Lord cares for you? The scripture also says every morning there's new mercies for you. You got a new batch to work with today. So enjoy that. See those clouds? Pray they develop into something.
Amen.
Like rain.
Yeah.
We need it. All right, we'll be right back.
Your property demands equipment with more reliability, durability, and versatility built in. Kubota equipment is ready to get the job done right.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Jesus says this in John 15, verses 8 and 16. You bring glory to my Father. You want to bring glory to Father? Here's how you do it. You bring glory to my Father, and you show you're my disciples. You want to prove you're really a follower of Christ? You show you're my disciples by bearing much fruit. Notice that word, much fruit. God wants a big family. He says, I chose you and I've called you to bear fruit, fruit that will last. Now, I want you to notice from that verse, Jesus says, God expects me, and he expects you, and he expects this church to bear much fruit. So that's what we're going to believe God for. And even more important is that God promises and God guarantees your fruitfulness in life if you follow certain instructions.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Until now, the CDC recommended more than 70 shots throughout childhood.
Recently, many parents have asked for more flexibility.
It doesn't take anybody's vaccine away from them. Every vaccine will be insured. They will be paid for.
While some doctors are pushing back.
This administration has decided that they think they know better.
What's the case for the new vaccine schedule?
Tuesday on the 700 Club, right here on the Dove TV.
Welcome to Rise Direct Primary Care. Imagine a healthcare experience where you're known by name, cared for like family, and treated with compassion. How is that possible? With an affordable, flat monthly membership, you receive unlimited primary care and minor urgent care visits. No insurance needed. At Rise Direct Primary Care, we offer a friendly, affordable healthcare experience where you get a whole hour with your provider. Located in Central Medford and accessible by phone or text, we can typically get you in the same or next day. We prescribe urgent care medications directly from our office, saving you a trip and wait time at the pharmacy when you'd rather be at home getting better. Personalized medical care with a human touch. Rise Direct Primary Care is all about healing the sick with compassion and keeping the healthy healthy. Rise Direct Primary Care. We're here for you. Visit risehealthdpc.com or call or text us 541-827-8603. 541-827-8603.
Inspiring conversations and real-life stories on Ministries on the Move. Join me Tuesdays and Thursdays at 4 p.m. right here on the Dove TV.
Welcome to Focus Today. I'm your host, Perry Atkinson. I've been looking forward to our guest today and to have back with us Dr. Lynn Munsil. He is the president of the Arizona Christian University. He's also a lawyer and a journalist and the author of Transforming Culture with Truth. You may want to check that out. There's a picture of the cover of that book there on the screen. He also, in 2006, he won the Republican nomination for governor of Arizona, and also in 2016, he served as a delegate to the GOP National Convention as a member of the Platform Committee. So he and I have that in common, been there. You can go to arizonachristian.edu is the website, and there's the picture of that landing page, a great organization. arizonachristian.edu. There it is for you right there. Dr. Munsil, good to see you again. How are you, friend?
I'm doing great, Perry. Good to see you.
Thank you. Happy New Year. A lot going on.
Yes.
Boy, there's a lot to talk to you about a short amount of time. From your perspective, how are we doing as believers in the area of discipleship?
Well, unfortunately, not great. It's been interesting. Working with George Barna, you learn a lot about sort of the state of the church and what's happening as it relates to discipling people in the church, even regular church attenders, members of churches. And as we know from George Barna's research over the last really 4 decades, we've seen a dramatic decline in biblical worldview, the percentage of Americans who have a biblical worldview, which really is a disciple who thinks and lives like Jesus. That's what we're talking about when we talk about having a biblical worldview. So from about 30 years ago, about 12% of Americans, so 1 in every 8 Americans had a biblical worldview. That number in last year's American Worldview Inventory, which we conduct through the Cultural Research Center here at Arizona Christian University, that number had dropped by 2/3 to just 4% of Americans, 1 in every 25, who is thinking and living biblically. And so however you want to, when you gauge it like that, it's pretty clear that we've not been effective at making disciples, which is kind of what we're called to do as followers of Christ.
Well, it's one of our leading mandates, go out and make disciples. And now, as you mentioned, the proof is in the pudding if our biblical worldview is down to 4%. So with that in mind, and I want to be careful here because I don't want to sound negative against the church, but I'm looking back at kind of history. How much of the lack of making disciples went away when churches dismissed Sunday school?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I don't think we know exactly what are all of the reasons why we've been ineffective in making disciples. I have my own thoughts on what's happened over the last few decades as it relates to the church, and I think you're right. I think that's part of it. Part of it, honestly, has got to be the sheer amount of bad messages coming at most Americans today through their phone, through the media, through music, television, film, social media in particular. I think it's very difficult to offset that with 30 minutes of teaching on a Sunday morning where you may or may not be paying attention because you might be on your phone. The reality is, if you've got 30 minutes of Bible teaching, assuming it's solid and assuming it's biblical, it's hard for that to compete with the dozens of hours that people are dealing with on a weekly basis of bad messaging coming at them from the culture. The culture is very, very powerful, especially for young people. And so I'm not sure the way that we are doing church is going to be effective at combating that in a way that will effectively make disciples.
Do you think churches see the need to intentionally develop discipleship back into their programs?
I am not an expert on that, but my sense from talking to George is that has not been a priority. You know, George Barna is a brilliant guy, and he's spoken truth, to the church with just data. Just, here's what the data is telling us. One of his axioms is that you get what you measure. And so often in the church, we're measuring the number of people attending, the number of people who become members. Maybe we're measuring the number of baptisms, but often we're sort of measuring based on our capacity, how many buildings we have, how many programs we have, as opposed to measuring whether we're making disciples, which is something that George Barna has done for us at Arizona Christian University. And that's create a tool by which we measure our students before they ever start classes at ACU, and then at the end of every year, and then when they graduate. And so now we have data that we can document, kind of where we're at with our students. Most churches are not doing that. One of the things that we're trying to do is create these tools for the church so that churches, and many churches are taking us up on it, can actually measure the thing that matters, which is, are you changing, are you growing your congregation spiritually? Are you changing the way that they think and the way that they live? And Barna's research always measures both, because those are both elements of having a biblical worldview. It's not just what we think, it's how we're living our lives. And both of those things get measured by his studies.
It would seem to me that would require churches to maybe change their weekly schedule to include literally discipleship training, let alone discipleship itself.
Yeah, I would think that would be the case. And kind of what George and I have been talking about is that if the church is going to be serious about making disciples, they're going to have to require more of their members. They're going to have to require more time commitment, because it's very difficult. The advantage that we have at Arizona Christian University is that we get young men and women, hopefully for 4 years, and we're able to surround them in an immersive environment where everybody that works at the school knows that part of their job is encouraging young men and women in their faith. So whether they're in the classroom, whether they're on the athletic field, whether they're in musical theater, whether they're in the band, every aspect of what we do at the university is oriented around building their faith and building them up to think and live biblically. But it's very intentional and it's very immersive, and it's many more points of contact for longer hours than you have with a typical relationship with a church. So I think it is a challenge for the church to try to figure out what can we do from a scheduling standpoint, and how can we more directly engage people with thinking and living biblically in a way that will be competitive with the incredible strong messaging that's coming from the culture that's often anti-Christ.
On the other hand, Dr. Mazzilli, it seems to me, I know I've had Dr. Barna on quite a bit. He's a hoot to talk to. Anyway, the point being is that there seems to be a genuine interest in faith these days, that the culture has lied to a lot of young people. There's more and more research coming out that young men are investigating faith. Young women, maybe not as much as young men. Maybe you can speak into that. But the point being is, are we ready for this possible influx of interest? And what are we giving them if they do come in?
Yeah, well, like I said, I'm running a university, so I know what we're trying to do. And I think the data that we have can inform the church. I don't know that the church is ready for this influx. I think George would say we saw an interest in faith after 9/11. We saw an interest in faith, through the COVID era. A lot of people have talked about in September the assassination of Charlie Kirk and the response to that, especially among young people. I agree with you. I think young people today are looking at what has happened with the millennial generation, those that are just ahead of them from an age standpoint, the mental health issues that they struggle with, the anxieties. And I think young people are looking for something that is real, something that is authentic. And obviously, biblical Christianity, you noted the title of my book, Transforming Culture with Truth. Biblical Christianity is the truth. It's the real story of God creating the earth, loving us so much that he sent his son, to live and to die in our place, to break down the separation that happened between us and a holy God. And so that's the true story. And, so we talked about at ACU, education without the truth of the Bible is semi-useless. It's trying to understand science or math or the arts without a context that is true. And so what we do at ACU is we bring biblical truth into every class, into every conversation, into every discipline, because that is the foundation of everything. And I think young people are looking for what is true, what is authentic, what is real. And we know biblical Christianity provides that.
Has that caused you, as the leader there at ACU, has that caused you to take a second look at your own curriculum to make sure that it is totally biblical founded? In other words, you've had to even take a second look. Are we really doing what we say we're doing?
Well, absolutely. And that was why what George Barna would tell you is that he's worked at 5 Christian colleges and 2 seminaries. And the reason he's still at ACU after 6 years is that we actually wanted to measure how we were doing. We wanted to know how we were doing. We set up a curriculum with the idea of building biblical worldview. We instruct our faculty in how to integrate biblical worldview into whatever discipline they're teaching. And yet, you don't know if it's being effective until you actually measure how you're doing. And there's some risk in that. And in fact, it's George's sense that the reason he's never been asked to do that before is that some colleges really didn't want to know if their students were moving towards Christ through their experience at a college. We wanted to know. Honestly, I've got other things I can do in life. I don't want to waste my time if we're not educating Christians and building them in their faith during the college years. Then in essence, as a Christian college, it would be false advertising for us to identify ourselves as a Christian college. So we started measuring it. We set out to do this. We started measuring it now 6 years ago, and now we have actual data. We're really the only Christian college that can say we have measurable data from George Barna that demonstrates the growth of our students over their time as students at ACU. And it truly is remarkable. It's very much cutting against what's happening to young people in our culture, especially in the college years. That's a time when so often, even young men and women that attend Christian colleges, but certainly in secular schools, that's a time of pulling away from the faith that they were raised in. And at ACU, we have data now that shows very clearly that young men and women grow stronger in their faith by a substantial margin while they're students at Arizona Christian University. Every year that they attend ACU, they move, they grow in biblical worldview. And so my encouragement to the body of Christ generally, to churches, and to other Christian schools, K through 12, we have measuring tools now for Christian high schools and for 4th, 8th, and 12th graders, and to other Christian colleges, is do this, measure what's happening. And if there need to be changes, you make changes. So a couple of years ago, we looked at some of the data and said, oh, there are elements of a biblical worldview where our students are stronger in some places than in other places. There was confusion, for example, about the Trinity. And so we made changes in our curriculum, both our theological curriculum and in other places, to emphasize the doctrine of the Trinity and to help explain it to our students. And so we will make adjustments in our curriculum each year based on what we discover when we look at the data of what our students are learning and what they're coming out with.
That's fascinating. Were there any other surprises when you turned the spotlight on yourself?
Honestly, given where our students are coming from, I don't know that I would say surprises. It sort of confirmed what we suspected, but maybe was more clear. Because one of the data points, Perry, that we have been highlighting is that, so Arizona Christian University is what's called a covenantal school. And unlike 2/3 or 3/4 of Christian colleges, maybe even higher than that now. Part of the test for being admitted to our school is that you claim to be a follower of Christ. And we probe a little bit. It's not just you have to check a box that, yeah, I'm a Christian. Because we're about creating leaders for the body of Christ. I don't really want to spend my time educating unbelievers. And we do evangelism at ACU. Every year we have hundreds of people come to faith in Christ through our various outreaches. But in terms of our student population, we want to create a setting where iron sharpens iron, where we're bringing in followers of Jesus and growing them substantially in their faith, so that when they leave, they can be leaders in the church and in the culture. And so it's a unique mission, and so they have that commitment coming in. And based on George's research, we know that the vast majority of them, it's well over 90%, have a genuine theologically defined born-again Christian relationship. In other words, they're saved. They're saved believers when they come to ACU. However, on the biblical worldview scale, what we learned is that when they come in at 17, 18 years old, even as followers of Jesus, they have been much more catechized by the culture than by the church and by the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
And so their biblical worldview is essentially not much better than their peers at 17, 18 years old. Mm-hmm. And so one of the slides that when George shared the data recently with our Board of Visitors that was most compelling is that he said, they come in, they're saved, but they're thinking and living largely like the world. And so he had a slide that said 1-to-1, 28-to-1. When they graduate, Perry, they're 28-to-1 more likely to have a biblical worldview than their peers the same age. So they go from thinking and living a lot like their peers as followers of Christ to 28 times more likely to think and live biblically.
Cool.
So extraordinary results at a time when, again, most young men and women in our culture today, sadly, are leaving their faith in that time frame as they're affected by the culture, and they're affected often by what's happening in their college.
Absolutely fascinating. Let me take a quick break. Let me share to our viewers and listeners, check out Dr. Mensil's book. It's called Transforming Culture with Truth. There's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen. Where can they get that?
They can get it on Amazon.
Okay. And then check out ArizonaChristian.edu, Arizona Christian University, ArizonaChristian.edu, and there's a picture of the landing page. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Sherry Breslin with Rogue Valley Security. Whether it's alarms, cameras, keyless entry, or even Starlink, we tailor solutions for your home or business. We believe in professionalism, excellence, and integrity. Every job, every time. Visit RogueValleySecurity.com.
Stewardship begins with the knowledge that nothing belongs to us, but everything belongs to the Lord. This helps us to run a business not in the fear of lack, but in the assurance of His care and provision. Such a perspective eliminates the drive to sell and replaces it with a heart that says serve. This begins with serving our clients and coworkers with integrity and genuine care. That's why McKelly's is automotive service with a heart for God and treating others as we ourselves would want to be treated. Our promise is to never sell our clients anything we don't believe they need. Another is to do all we can to meet other needs, such as shuttle service and loaner cars, or taking the time to really listen, even at times praying with our customers. Sometimes this means sacrifice, going above and beyond, but that's why I work for Kelly's Automotive Service, honoring God while serving people with honesty and integrity.
Applegate River Golf and RV Resort, a pristine 9-hole course alongside the Applegate River. Their clubhouse offers a golf simulator experience. The RV Resort is adjacent to the golf course with convenient pull-through parking. Applegate River Golf and RV Resort. Information at applegaterv.com.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, gonna let it shine. Oh, shine.
Welcome back, and what an honor to have with us today Dr. Lynn Mansell. He is the president of the Arizona Christian University. He's also an attorney, a journalist, and the author of a must-read book called Transforming Culture with Truth. And again, there's a picture of the cover of the book on the screen, available online there at Amazon. And of course, check out the university website, arizonachristian.edu, and there's a picture of that landing page. Okay, boy, you're fascinating. But let me ask you the big question. A biblical worldview is in complete contrast to our culture today.
Yes.
Complete, in every level. It's just, we have seen the complete opposite being propagated as truth, and we have to accept it and buy it because that's the way it is. Students who are taught a biblical worldview, do they see the contrast that sets forth the challenge for their life?
Yeah, absolutely they do. They're well aware. In fact, we talk about that at ACU in the classroom and in chapel and outside the classroom, that a lot of what they're being told in the culture is a lie. And so we teach biblical sexuality. We teach the value of every human life. We talk about things that are in the core commitments of our university, such as economic freedom, that are biblical principles. And this is the thing that's always amazing. People think you're talking about politics when you talk about some of these issues of life and sexuality and marriage, these are actually biblical issues that there are application to the culture that we live in. That's where our mindset comes from. And Perry, if you know anything about my background, you shared a little bit of my background, but I'm a lawyer that was in the sort of the Christian conservative, fighting for the sanctity of life in our culture, for marriage between a man and a woman, for biblical principles that lead to a conservative perspective on the role of government. And so that's where I come from. And a lot of those values and principles have been inculcated into the mission of Arizona Christian University. And so I wanted to share with you some of the outcomes. As we talked about, we've had George Barna now for 6 years doing a longitudinal study of our students, of every student. So it's not a survey. It's not a guesstimate of, we measured a few of them and then extrapolated it out. This is every student at ACU who gets measured anonymously every year. So we just see the aggregate totals. But one of the things I wanted to mention, because this really affects how young people view what's happening in our culture right now. And you mentioned, do they understand that, there are lies out there? And I think this should give people hope about the next generation and about what's possible. Because often, we sort of concede that, well, young people are going to be pulled during this time frame, away from God and from a, sort of, to the secular left viewpoint of the world. And it doesn't have to go that way. I think what we can now demonstrate with what we've done at Arizona Christian University is that young men and women can be dramatically grown in their biblical faith during that time frame. So some of the things I wanted to note in this 6-year longitudinal study is that our students, from the time they enter, again, they enter as born-again Christians, but by the time they graduate, the increase in biblical worldview is 833%, more than eightfold, with a biblical worldview. But some of the findings that I think, that some of the consequences of growing in your biblical worldview is that even though they come in as believing Christians, from the time they come in until they graduate, the number of our graduates, the number of students who increase in their belief that the only legitimate marriage is one man to one woman grows by 31%. The number that agree that pornography is corrupt and objectifies people and undermines genuine love increases by 54%. Again, they're Christians when they arrive, but their commitment to marriage, their commitment to biblical sexuality, the number who believe that human life is sacred grows by 59% over their time at ACU. So they're becoming not only stronger in their faith, but they're becoming more conservative in their view of what's happening in the culture. The number of our students who believe that caring for the poor is the responsibility of individuals, churches, and nonprofits, and not the government, grows by 32%. The number of students who believe that voting for socialist candidates is inconsistent with their Christian beliefs doubles during their time at Arizona Christian University. So we're seeing extraordinary outcomes. By the time they graduate, the percentage of our graduates who are theologically identified born-again Christians is 76% higher than among Christian adults in America. It's 26% higher than among attenders of evangelical churches. And Perry, this may shock you, but if you remember, I think you talked a little bit about George Barna's study of Christian pastors and their worldview.
Right.
Our graduates at 22 years old at Arizona Christian University are 43% more likely to have a biblical worldview than the average Christian pastor in America. So we're sending out graduates who are going to seed the church with theologically sound, committed Christians with a conservative biblical worldview. And they're going to make a big difference in our culture, especially as we grow. We're now the 5th fastest growing university in America over the last decade. We started very small, but now we're up to 1,600 students this last fall. We're headed towards 2,000 and beyond. And the more students that we send out, and especially if we can get other colleges and other Christian schools to embrace a culture of measuring their outcomes, measuring their biblical worldview outcomes, and then adjusting curriculum and practices to serve the body of Christ by turning out people with a biblical worldview, we can really make a difference.
Well, I can't say how refreshing it is to hear this, because at the same time we know a lot of denominations are weighing some of the cultural issues as to whether or not they're going to make exceptions to even their own doctrinal statements. We also know that other seminaries now are being diluted, if I can put it that way. So this is very, very refreshing, and I just want to commend you and your team to have the vulnerability to look at yourself and ask yourself, is your mission being accomplished? Because a lot of people just don't want to do that. They don't want the answer to that question.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. And we're gratified by these results, but we want to do better. That's the goal. And what we've learned is that young men and women, when given the truth and surrounded in an immersive culture of discipleship, make tremendous leaps in their faith, in their commitment to Scripture, and in changing actually the way that they live. I mean, we have extraordinary stories anecdotally that back up, what we're seeing in the data. That the data is proving out what we've been seeing anecdotally, where young men and women as followers of Christ come to our school and they start changing how they live and how they think, because they're exposed to the truth of the Scripture that God wants us to flourish when we live life according to His principles and His plans.
Beautifully said. Let me say to our viewers and listeners, check out the ACU's website, arizonachristian.edu. There's a picture of that landing page. I think it's well taking a serious look at. And certainly check out Dr. Menzel's book called Transforming Culture with Truth. That's available there at Amazon. Everything we talked about is pretty much detailed in that book. And I think you'll find it not something to read. I think you'll find it, you'll end up writing in the margins. Transforming Culture with Truth. Thank you, my friend. Good to see you. Stay in the fight. We need you.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Perry. God bless.
God bless.
Hi, I'm Ryan Robertson, host of a brand new program on theDove, Ministries on the Move. Ministries on the Move spotlights the incredible work of how God is using everyday people and organizations, putting their faith into action, serving the hurting, strengthening families, and sharing the hope of the gospel in practical ways. Be inspired and discover these ministries on the move.
Premiere is Tuesday, January 27th at 4 p.m. on theDove TV. Encouraging and informative. More at theDove.us.
Come fall in love with Northridge Senior Living, where contemporary, sunlit interiors meet old world elegance. Walk through our lovely hallways and enjoy the fun staff-led activities. Forge lasting friendships with other residents and our exceptional caregivers. Dine in style. Gather near the fireplace under breathtaking chandeliers. Our reasonably priced apartments are spacious with private balconies. Northridge is Christian-owned and operated, pet-friendly, and only 2 blocks from Asante Rogue Regional Medical Center. On-site, in-home care is available. We also offer senior adult daycare, where your loved one can spend the day with us and the evenings with you. Northridge Senior Living. Your home.
You feel most alive where you feel most at home. And this is living. Bobcat, the company that changed the way the world works, is coming home with a quality compact tractor built to match your quality of life. This isn't work you have to do. It's work you get to do. So get it done in a tractor that's all you. See your dealer or visit bobcat.com.
Well, welcome back, and always delighted and quite honestly honored when we have time to sit down with Troy Miller. He's the CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters. Under this man's leadership, this organization has grown to an amazing organization and been a proud member of this for decades. And he's just doing a terrific job. He never sleeps. But that's okay. That's his lifestyle now. He's learned how to do that. And you go to nrb.org. That is the website right there. We'll talk about the big convention coming up. But the nrb.org is the website. No matter what kind of a Christian organization you are, if you want to deal with media in your ministry, this is the place to go and to join. nrb.org. Troy, good to see you, buddy. How are you?
It's good to be with you, Perry, as always. Thawing out here in Nashville.
Oh, gosh, yeah. How you guys doing? We had 3 feet of snow or something?
Well, it wasn't the snow so much. We got a couple of inches of ice, and that's really made everything kind of a mess. I think we've got over 200,000 around the community still without power, but so we're praying for those folks here. But hopefully warm weather's on its way.
Yeah, good to see you. Hey, before I get into all this other stuff, I want to say to you and your team, thank you so very much for the comments that you filed with the FCC dealing with TV caps. I don't know if a lot of people understand that. For those of us in the industry, it's a big deal, and I read your comments thoroughly, and I just want to say thank you. They were spot on.
Oh, thanks, Perry. You know, it is a big issue. This gets reviewed by the FCC every 4 years, and they're a little bit behind on this one. This is actually the 2022 review. It got sort of railroaded like a lot of things during COVID, and so we really chimed in on this. We just think that so many things are changing in the landscape right now that the FCC shouldn't do anything to the rules. They should just hold things as they are and let a lot of this other technology and things run its course before they look at this.
Well, again, the strength of the NRB, you have now a respected voice at the table because of your hard work and the dedication of your team. And quite frankly, the team that you put together, that review was well worded. And I just want to say thanks. I'm with you, man. We got to stop this one.
Amen. Amen to that. Yeah.
All right. I want to come back to religious freedom. We watched in complete shock a church get loaded up with protesters in Minnesota. What's your take on that, and where is it leading?
Well, look, the problem, I think we've been seeing this for a number of years, and it's now, spilled into the church with this church service. But the anarchy that are coming from these kinds of protesters, the complete disregard, not only for the law, Perry, but just respect in general. Why would you barge into a church service that was in progress, full of people who are there for a very specific purpose? You have families, you have young children, you have all of these folks in the room, and then you have this group that just rushes in to protest. Quite honestly, they weren't even sure what they were there for, because they had identified that one of the pastors, not the lead pastor, was possibly a bivocational pastor and had a civic job, maybe working for the Department of Homeland Security. And then they decided they were going to target this church and make this I guess, make this a media event for them because they brought media with them. And so it's very alarming, Perry.
Was this a violation of First Amendment?
This is absolutely a civil rights violation. This was a violation of this church's civil rights. They were trespassing at the minimum, Perry. They were asked to leave. They didn't leave. They interrupted a worship service. That's a First Amendment free exercise thereof. So just a number of things there. Plus, Perry, there's something called the FACE Act out there. And the FACE Act was put together to Congress to protect against these kinds of incidents from happening. It's often used against pro-lifers when they're demonstrating or marching against abortion clinics. Recently, as I think it was about 8 years ago right here in my hometown, there were 11 people that were arrested and charged under the FACE Act for praying in the hallway outside of an abortion clinic. President Trump earlier this year pardoned those people. But this kind of act that they did in this church service, that's a direct violation against the FACE Act. And so we're happy to see that, at least for now, the Justice Department has arrested 2, I think maybe 3 individuals, and are seeking more. And we hope that they really follow through with prosecution, because I think if you don't send a clear message here, Perry, we're going to see a lot more of this.
Okay, so they're very good at intimidation. Do you think that the average church understands where we are heading if we don't stop this?
No, I think that's the problem, Perry. I think the average church doesn't understand where we're heading. And I think they knew exactly what they were doing. Their goal, as you said, was intimidation, not particularly intimidation for that church, but the fact that they brought media with them. They knew this was going to be a media event. This was to send a message to all churches. If you want your church service to be disrupted like this, if you want to have protesters in your pews, then you keep getting involved in the governance issues, the policy issues of this country. And so that was a message that was sent clear to churches. And I hope churches understand we are called to have the courage to stand up against these kinds of incidences, not to back away from them.
I just had the president of Arizona Christian University on. Maybe you caught a little bit of that. And we were chit-chatting about biblical worldview. And it seems like today that the biblical worldview and just about everything the culture is trying to redefine, you could say life, sexuality, all the way down to free speech is being redefined. My concern is this. If this what happened in Minnesota Church isn't really dealt with forcefully and pushed back, what I don't hear across the country as a result of that were pastors speaking out about this. Some may have, but for the most part, a lot of just didn't touch it. Why? Because like everything else, it's been politicized, and they want to drop anything that's political. Do you think we understand the stealth of the enemy and what they're trying to do here?
I don't think we understand, Perry, what the word political means. I said this the other day. It's amazing to me that Christians are the only ones, and the only group in this country, certainly the only faith group, that anytime they exercise their faith, their beliefs, the things that they hold dear to them, if they exercise those in a public sector, and especially if they exercise them when it comes to the governance of their communities, their states, or the federal government, they're suddenly labeled as being political. Yet, we know that if the Islamists in this country do it, it's okay. If the Hindus in the country do it, it's okay. It's certainly okay if the secular atheists, agnostics in this country do it, then that's even better. But Christians should somehow take their worldview, take the beliefs, and really what we're talking about here are the beliefs that we hold dear. Mm-hmm. Somehow we should take those beliefs and keep them in the 4 walls of our church or our home, and they should never leave it. We're the only group that's called that when we exercise our rights, we're called radicals and extremists, Perry, and I hope pastors understand that. I hope they understand that they can't back away. They can't back away far enough from this to ever appease the left.
Do you think that, and I say this cautiously and even with a broken heart, do you think that we Christians are becoming complicit by not speaking out of the breaking of laws. In other words, we're becoming lawless because we're saying nothing.
Yeah, absolutely, Perry. I do think we are becoming lawless because we're not speaking up, and we're not the ones that are really, giving truth to the culture. And look, we have the only truth, Perry. We understand that the role of government is to enforce the laws of this country against the lawless. And if you don't enforce those laws against lawless people, then your entire society will simply become lawless. And pastors are not doing either their congregations or their communities any favor by just, as I say, cowering away from these issues. Think about it for a second, Perry. What could be the most unloving thing you could do to a person than not to step up when you have the truth, to tell the truth, and instead leave them under a lawless, godless society? And that's the kind of leadership that they're going to have. I don't know how a pastor could step back and look at that and say, well, that's me loving my neighbor.
Are we communicating that as Christian communicators?
I think we're starting to see more and more pushback on this. I think as the left, and certainly we know as the enemy, pushes harder against the church, I think we're starting to see the church wisen up and say, oh, there really is a battle going on here. There really is a war in place. It's a spiritual war, and it's also a physical war that has spilt over. We're seeing that, I think, especially amongst the younger generations that are kind of rejecting this message, and they're looking for truth. We've had this spike in church attendance. We've had this spike in visits to Christian websites and to Christian media. So all of these, I think, show that the culture itself says this can't be the way we're meant to live.
Okay, let me take a quick break here and say to our viewers and listeners, always an honor to have Troy Miller with us, CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters. Go to nrb.org. That's the website. The big convention coming up in February. If you are involved in anything in ministry and you use any forms of media, this is the place to go and connect. And you can check it out, nrb.org. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Finding that next great series to binge watch is fun, but your neck, shoulders, and body don't count that as me time. Hi, I'm Tamara Miller, owner of Organic Element Spa, and I invite you to put down the remote, get off the couch, and schedule yourself some real me or we time with your favorite service, like one of our many massages, couples massages, or facials. Your health, safety, and comfort are always top priority with us at Organic Element Spa. We can't wait to see you. Book your appointment today.
Don't let pain hold you back. I'm Dr. Joel Brind, and I developed Sweetamine to stop inflammation the all-natural way. Just use it like a sweetener once a day. It's that simple. My unique formula harnesses the power of glycine and works around the clock to boost your overall health, stopping chronic inflammation that causes pain. Try my 12-day challenge risk-free for just $19.95 with free shipping at sweetamine.com or call 1-855-GET-SWEET today. Relief has never been so sweet.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
The big idea of Christianity is to live coram Deo, to live all of one's life in the presence of God, under the authority of God, and to the honor and to the glory of God. Let me say that again. The big idea, coram Deo, is to live one's life in the presence of God, under the authority of God, to the honor and glory of God. That's what it's all about. Jesus said it succinctly this way: if you love me, keep my commandments. Which is to say, if you want to please me, you please me by doing what I have commanded you to do.
A ministry moment on the Dove.
Welcome back. Always an honor to have with us Troy Miller. He's the CEO of the National Religious Broadcasters, and you can go to nrb.org. It is the organization to belong to, and I have been for decades, and I just want to say an honor to do so. But they're there. They are our advocates all across the globe. Troy, to that point, the local Radio Freedom Act, thank God it got through some bipartisan connections there, and the potential of what they're calling the performance tax. How close did we come to dodging a bullet here?
Well, I think we came pretty close. There's a lot of forces trying to, push this through, and it's counteract the American Music Fairness Act. But we have a lot of support in Congress, and I think Congress is going to have to step back and take a look at the entire royalty structure. We've been band-aiding this for years with just little patches here, patches there. Or new taxes here, new taxes there. And so we're really pushing hard to get Congress to step back and take a look at the whole royalty system and really find out what's fair for the artist, for the publishers, and for those radio stations and for those who are playing the music. So that's going to be a big push for us going into this next Congress.
Okay, so what is there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 organizations we pay money to?
5 major ones, and there's actually a half a dozen little ones out there that keep popping up as well. And then it's sort of kind of crazy, Perry, because you pay one tax for one to be on this broadcast, and this exact same broadcast, if it's streaming, it has a different tax. So it needs to be fixed.
Oh gosh, does it ever? All right, so where do you think media is heading these days with all of the technology? AI, I'll throw that in the mix for those of us in broadcasting, especially on the television side. We're looking at 3.0 versus 1.0. I don't know what keeps you up at night, but perhaps we're both being kept up by the same thing.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm a technology guy by trade, so that's my background is in the whole technology. And of course, we've seen a lot of innovations over the last decade. And now, as you said, with AI, we're seeing just innovations that seem to be coming almost every 24 hours. We're looking at something new. AI is going to be a big discussion at the NRB convention coming up here in a few weeks. We have a whole stage dedicated to AI, but not just the productivity side of AI, the things it could do in both the radio studios and television studios, but also talk about the morality, the ethics, and some of the legalities around AI. We know there's a lot of things going on with deep fakes that are out there. We know there's a lot of plagiarism going on with people's data and people's information and their work and their content. So we have a lot to go there. Look, I've said this before, Perry. I think we're in the greatest age of communications that's ever existed in the history of mankind. We can instantly communicate around the globe. But with that comes also great responsibility. Responsibility for us as Christians to hold up to the high standards we've had. Earlier this year in our Barna study, we showed that Christian media has nearly a 66% approval rating across the general population as being both trustworthy and valuable. And so that's something I think we really have to concentrate on. It really sets us apart from mainstream media, whether it's news media or entertainment or information. And that's a challenge for us going forward.
That being said, we're also the fly in the ointment to the hardcore socialists that don't want Christian media. I know you watch that. Is that still a threat out there? I mean, how would we become vigilant with that?
Oh, absolutely. Look, mainstream media doesn't cover anything, that as it relates to Christianity unless they can cover it either in an embarrassing or negative way. The fact that less than 2% of the mainstream media has covered the vast amounts of Christian persecution that's been going on around the globe, and especially the events in Nigeria. That just tells you everything we need to know about mainstream media. And Perry, you hit it right on the head. Look, the one thing I think that the left understands is there is one institution that stands in their way from just rolling across this country and probably rolling across the world, and that's the Church of Jesus Christ. That is the Christian church. And they know that they have to silence, marginalize that message if they have any chance for being successful in what they're trying to do. So that's something, Perry, we have to really be aware of, and we have to step up to the plate and answer that. We can't just set aside passively back while this happens.
With that, Troy, and I know in the secular broadcast world, there's a lot of consolidating going on. And at the end of the day, it could be threatening to the local. It goes back to the CAP Act that you wrote the wonderful piece on. But I'm really concerned about the local Christian broadcaster, if they understand the world that we're in and how fragile it is.
Yeah, I think so, Perry. You know, our theme this year for the NRB convention is that a new era of Christian communication begins now. Some of that has to do with the technology advancements that have been going on, certainly AI. But a lot of that, Perry, we're going to talk about has to do with the threats to Christian communicators in America and around the globe, and the threats to the local church. You know, local churches are Christian communicators as much as the broadcasters are in their communities. Mm-hmm. And if we don't understand that those threats, those are real threats that would like to permanently silence our voice from the public sector, then that's what will happen. Our voice will be permanently silenced from the public sector. So we're asking the Christian communicators, this is an age where courage is going to be one of the most important things that we can have, one of the most important characteristics that we can hold, character traits we can have, because we have to stand up and not fall for the populism, seeker-friendly kind of movement that's been in so many pulpits and so many studios across this country. If we're going to reach a culture for the truth of the gospel, and we're going to impact that culture for the better.
What do you think the biggest threat is, Troy?
I think there's two big threats right now in America, and I think that we're missing both of them. I think we underestimate, as you said, the weaponization of corporate America against the Christian message. And I also think the next biggest threat is the rise of Islam in America. Sharia law, which is being pushed now in a number of states, is completely 100% opposed to not only the American way of life, our constitutional republic, but it is completely opposed to the Christian worldview. Those are the two biggest threats, I think, around the world, and unfortunately, they have merged together to battle against the church.
Mm-hmm. Because my other concern when watching that is, will the equal access law ever come back to life where, I mean, we fought that in days gone by, but if you see cities like New York and what's happening in Minneapolis and Minnesota and everything else, if that influences the next, administration goes left and the FCC changes and they bring back that, we would have to give equal time to opposing theology.
Yeah, isn't that kind of sounds just crazy? I do think there's a number of court cases, though, Perry, that are out there in our favor. I think we have the courts from now. We certainly have to act while we have this friendly administration in place to put a number of safeguards in there. That's why we're chiming up on a Supreme Court case that the FCC has right now. It's their ability to do fines and take away licenses without due process. While we like this friendly FCC we have today, we know that it's not always going to be friendly. And so we're fighting that any broadcasters would have a due process by jury if that does come to fruition down the road.
I think people need to understand that of all of the media platforms out there, broadcast is the one that's regulated.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Not just regulated, it's extremely regulated to the point where the FCC holds the threat of taking your license away, and then you're done. Your broadcasting career is over, and nobody else has that kind of thing holding over their head. The streaming platforms don't have that. The internet platforms don't have it. Matter of fact, the internet platforms have a law, this Section 230, that gives them a bit of of leeway and in some cases a free pass on a lot of things that they do. So you're right, Perry. The broadcasters are held under stricter regulation than any other form of communication.
All right, Troy, plug the convention. People got 2.5 weeks to get a ticket and get there.
Yeah, it's the largest gathering of Christian communicators, Christian media professionals under one roof. It's in Nashville, Tennessee, February 17th through the 20th. And it's opened the door to everybody. If you're a Christian media person, you should definitely be there. But if you're one of the audience members, you just want to come by, meet Perry, meet some of your other favorite people, well, they're going to be in the halls as well.
Okay, well, by the way, will the snow be gone by then?
Yeah, the snow should be gone by then.
Okay. One other quick question, and I'll let you go. How are you doing internationally? How's the NRB doing internationally? I know you got a lot of connections out there. You're supporting a lot of organizations. How are they doing out there?
Well, look, as far as the NRB is doing, we're growing internationally. We've had more attendees international the last 3 years at our convention. We're expecting that to be up again this year. We're working with more organizations around the globe. But at the same time, Perry, it's important to do that because Christian persecution is up around the globe as well. There are a number of places, like you said here, around the world where right now to be a Christian broadcaster is kind of putting a target on your back. So there's a lot of work we have to continue to do with this administration. But look, God's moving forward and the gospel isn't going to be stopped. So as long as we have the courage to speak out and speak up.
One last quick, and I keep getting one more, but let me squeeze it in. AM radio, you've been working hard to protect AM radio. How's it going?
We're hoping that this round, actually we were hoping before the convention, this would make it to a floor vote. We're waiting for these last appropriation bills that's taken priority in the House right now. They're trying to get a health care bill passed. We've been promised that as soon as that health care bill is up and out of the way, then the AM radio bill is going to get to the floor. It's the most bipartisan bill in Congress, 350 co-sponsors in the House, over 60 in the Senate. It should breeze through once it gets a floor vote and then be on the president's desk. So we're going to keep the pressure up to make sure that happens this quarter.
Again, thank you for you and your team. You guys have been a real hawk on that. So thank you, brother. We pray for you. And we'll see you in a couple weeks and get some rest. when you're not shoveling snow, take a nap, okay?
All right.
Good to see you, friend. Thank you.
Good to see you.
The Dove is shining with a brand new show, Season to Shine.
I'm Melinda Robertson, host of Season to Shine, a new heartfelt, inspiring program for women designed to bring encouragement, wisdom, and hope into your everyday life. We'll help you discover God's purpose in every season, empowering you to shine with confidence, faith, and